Hello everybody, welcome back once again to the British Pokemon League. We're here today to present you week 1 of the British Pokemon League. That Mega Horn with the Oko, that indeed is gone, and a gunshot up the Hammerine. Oh my goodness me. Where Scald comes out, does take out the Delay Spot as a conservation prize. That Drain Punch gets the kill. Game 3 win. Maxwell hits the rebound, and that is going to be game number 3 to Aaron, and he gets his first win. 50% HP. The defense rises with the instant. There's the parry shot under the Harry, and that's going to magic bounce back, but that's going to mean Harry goes out. Brick Break is immune, obviously, so he can get the kill with Chill Enemy. That is 1-0, and unfortunately, and Maxius does hit the touch gift. That does give them now a 2-time special attack boost. That Torko is going to be at this run house. There's the eruption, takes out the Diggersby. We're on 10-4 and it's now a 1v1. Hello everybody, welcome back to the British Pokemon League show. We're back. There's been 2 weeks off. A lot's happened in those 2 weeks though. Quite a lot's happened. Just this little thing called playoffs. I don't know if you're aware of it or not. That's right, we are here 14 weeks later. As you saw, all those stats, something like 50 odd matches. It's crazy. So much has happened in 4 months. We're finally here. We're finally here at playoffs. It's been just the sort of the end result of all this work. All these weeks of Pokemon played by all of our brilliant coaches, and yeah, we're here. It's exciting. I'm wearing a suit. I promised I would wear a suit at least once this season. Got a suit. Didn't have a tie. You know, it is what it is. Can't be suited. I didn't want to get the ladies too excited, right? If we put a tie on, it would have been game over. Anyway, my dudes, we're not going to waste some time. We've got a lot to get through. There's a lot of exciting games I've got for you today. Obviously, as you know, no Aurora Acuna. Gus, unfortunately, as we know, did leave the league a couple of weeks back, so that means there is one coach getting a bye. That is Toadstar Belgrade. Weo getting the bye for losers round 2. But of course, our other games, we have got Bulu Boys versus Long Island Goomies, Inglorious Surfers versus Miami Heat. Hang on a second. Oh, there we go. It's back. As you saw, Toadstar Belgrade get the bye, and finally Newcastle Thunderers versus Shadow Kings in the match 2 of the losers bracket. But as you can see out there, there is the path to the grand finals all laid out in front of you. And of course, if you've been keeping up on social media, you will know that today's grand final will be taking place live at the end of this show. Can't obviously give any spoilers of who that is, but you know, you'll have to just watch and find out. Without further ado, we're going to get straight into our first game, and it is between Miami Heat and Inglorious Surfers. These two have split games during the main season. Aaron winning the first one 2-0, and probably the closest 2-0 game I have ever witnessed, and Lat getting the 2-0 in the turnaround game. Aaron getting a little bit unlucky with the team he brought, and Latvians Cinderace and Blastoise duo are just far too strong. You know, that AoE damage Blastoise puts on just far too much. And yeah, so both of them have got a 2-0 against each other. It could go absolutely either way in playoffs. Because these two teams finished second and third, that is why they're playing each other. First plays fourth, second plays third, fifth plays eighth, sixth plays seventh. You know the drill we talked about at the end of last week's show. But as you can see there, there's a new addition to the Miami Heat team, and that is one Duraludon. So basically, at the end of the season, every coach is allowed to make at least one change going into playoffs. Not every coach has done that, but Latvian is one of those. Picking up the Duraludon, I think it really puts a spanner in the works for Aaron's sort of main game plan, to be honest. Obviously, Duraludon gets the Stalwart ability, which means it is not affected by Follow Me. And as you know, Hatterene doesn't enjoy taking steel type attacks that Duraludon is well known for. And Duraludon's going to sort of laugh in the face of any fairy type attacks that Hatterene hits it with. So that, as I said, that puts a bit of a spanner in the works for Aaron. But Aaron has got a few variable things he can do. Obviously, we know that Terrakion and Dugtrio duo, the beat up to set up the Justified, can work out. And we saw it in full effect against Gus a couple of weeks back. That thing is phenomenally hard to stop if you don't have an answer to it. So yeah, Aaron has options, and obviously, as we spoke about a couple of times this season, Latvian's Miami Heat team, you can never call what he's going to do. That is just the genius behind this team. It is just so diverse. There's so many different routes he can go down. We've seen Lipard Slowbro get paired. We've seen Kangaskhan Driplim get paired. We've seen Cinderace Blastoise get paired. Anything can come, and that is that is what we're going to have to wait and find out. But without further ado, let's get right into our first game. Inglorious Surfers versus Miami Heat. And there is the Duraludon on the side of Latvian. And Duraludon leads the line with Mudsdale. And it is Hatterene and Raiolu for Aaron. So Aaron trying to maybe go for the copycat Trick Room there. He's going to try and get Trick Room up no matter what. But it's whether he can get it off, Obviously Raiolu is running that Prankster ability, so there's a good chance he can get it off, but it's whether he can, he can see it through. Mudsdale and Duraludon, both very strong Pokemon. As I said, Duraludon not going to care about any follow me's, and has a pretty good special attack. Mudsdale obviously does run that stamina ability, which you've really got to keep an eye out for. But the Swabber, Duraludon swaps out, Torkoal comes in, and in comes the Mudsdale. So Latvian fully expecting the Trick Room to go off. Mudsdale goes for his Stand Max, and Hatterene goes for his G Max. There's the copycat to set up the Trick Room. And Torkoal running Room Service. Torkoal now a little bit slower under the Trick Room. Raiolu goes down that Max Quick, and Mudsdale getting that special defense up. So Hatterene already walled the Sun up as well for Torkoal. And in comes Thwacky. Gets in the Grassy Surge, so obviously can hit a Grassy Glide, which will go first in priority bracket. But that Torkoal now is probably going to move before the Hatterene. Torkoal, I think, is just slightly faster than Hatterene, but because of that Room Service, it's going to ensure that Torkoal is going to go first, and that is some genius by Latvian. There's the Grassy Glide at the Mudsdale, not going to quite do enough. The Eruption into the Thwacky. Thwacky goes down. Hatterene just taking a little bit of damage, gets the confusion off the Torkoal, but Mudsdale running on tempo and hits the Max Steel Spike on the Hatterene. Hatterene just about hanging on and getting that defense, but Mudsdale only taking about half damage by that Grassy Glide, and the grassy terrain is going to replenish some of that health. And in comes Scrafty to get the in-temp, but the on-tempo blocks the stat drop on that Mudsdale. And this is looking very, very difficult for Aaron now. He's 2 Pokemon down to Latvian's 4. Torkoal just absolutely running house with Mudsdale. That Torkoal's Room Service just really, really paying dividends, and now Aaron's got some serious thinking to do to try and bring this back. It's not up to Fatley saying there's still another 10 of the G-Max and Dynamax to go. But that own tempo on the Mudsdale, that's probably, again, I keep using the phrase put a spanner in the works, but it will have put a spanner in the works. A lot of what Aaron can do focus on getting the confusion off and stopping those attacks. There's the Burning Jealousy. Hatterene goes down. Scrafty with the ult to do. There's the Max Steel Spike on the Scrafty. Gets the 2 times defense buff. Stone Edge at the Torkoal because of that defense buff is not going to do anything at all. And Scrafty with it all to do. And I think that's probably going to be it. To be honest, for this game number 1. And Latvian getting the first blow in this winners bracket game 1 against Aaron. Putting on an absolute clinic here. Aaron tries something different in custom match. There's the body press onto Scrafty. Scrafty goes down. Foregone conclusion there. As we move on into game number 2, Aaron's got to try something different here, perhaps, to get this going. But does bring out the Hatterene and Riolu again. And there is the Duraludon and the Mudsdale lineup. Now, obviously, he said last time Latvian chose to swap out the Duraludon to get in the Torkoal, so the Torkoal would run perfectly under Trick Room. Obviously, was just trying to counter for whether Aaron was going to bring the Hatterene in DD Duo. Said Follow Me wouldn't work there, wouldn't have any effect on the Duraludon, and Hatterene would be taking a hit, not even G-maxed as well. So Aaron's hand is kind of forced here if he's wanting to go down the Trick Room lineup, which, you know, looking at his team of 6, you'd think that's pretty much the only route he can go down. Probably only Zoroark there with any kind of speed. While Zoroark can be a good pick, obviously has that illusion ability, you know, can play a bit of spoiler. You know, it's not the best. There's the Snarl from the Duraludon, is going to get that special attack drop on Riolu and Hatterene. The High Jump kick at the Duraludon. Duraludon just about hanging on for the, but it's got the Weakness Pulse activated. There's the Max Quake from the Mudsdale, takes out the Riolu, again gets a special attack buff. There's the G-Max Smite on the Duraludon, does take it out. So it is 1 apiece, 3v3. Aaron getting on the board this time. That special attack drop could be really, really big. And now no Riolu to activate that Trick Room, which could be good in a sense. But, you know, Torkoal, I think, is still going to be faster now because, you know, it was going first because of its room service item that it has on it. Getting a message there. Yeah, so in comes Thwacky, the same two Pokemon come in for turn number 2 as we saw in game number 1. I think Thwacky's going to go for that Grassy Glide, but you know it's not going to do all that much to Mudsdale. You know, it only took it down to about half HP, and we know how hard Max Steel Spike can hit into that Hatterene. Now there's no Follow Me there. You know, Aaron's been sort of thwarted against from bringing it just because Duraludon was hanging around. You know, just that pressure alone, I think, has been difficult for Aaron to deal with here. But you know, as we said, it's still 3v3. It's not entirely over. Aaron can get rid of that Torkoal. It can maybe do something. There is the Mudsdale. Gets hit with the Grassy Glide. There's the Max Knuckle. If Thwacky gets the 1.5 times attack for the Mudsdale and the Torkoal. There's the Max Overgrowth from the Mudsdale. That's not going to do enough. Benny Jealousy from the Torkoal takes out the Thwacky, and it is now a 2v3. But a little bit of damage at least from Mudsdale. But that special defense buff really paying off. And in comes the Zoroark. And we spoke about Zoroark potentially coming here. Obviously not getting its illusion ability off because there's no Pokemon for it to copy, but it still can be kind of strong as a fast Pokemon. It's got pretty good special attack. That special defense buff on the Mudsdale is going to make it very difficult to deal with, but we still do have one last turn of G-Max and Dynamax to go. See, Aaron has the possibility to go for a Smite, try and get a Confusion off. There's the Flamethrower on the Mudsdale. Quite do enough. Max Steel Spike in the Hatterene, and Hatterene's gone, and it's Zoroark with it all to do. There is the body press at the Zoroark, and it is gone, and that is Miami Heat Latvian getting the win over Aaron. The first casualty down to the losers bracket. Aaron, phenomenal stuff from Latvian there. I think the Duraludon just it really put it up Aaron. It really just messed with his whole game plan from the looks of things, and he was not able to get anything going. So Latvian is the first player, the first coach to make it through to the winners bracket. Yes, we've got the suit. We brought the suit out. But you know, Aaron's still in it. There's still a chance. That is the bonus of being in the winners bracket. You have that safety blanket almost that you can lose and still be in with a chance to win it. Obviously, you're now going to make the whole run right back to the grand finals, but you know it's possible, it's manageable. We've seen weirder things happen, and I know Aaron's a good player, and you know, we'll have to see what happens. But let's move into our game number 2, and it is our first place regular season team versus our 4th place regular season team. Bulu Boys taking on the Long Island Goomies. Both times Bulu Boys have played Long Island Goomies, it has ended in a 2-0. Goomies, Silly always tries to Silly always tries something different. That's, you know, I called the team a meme team in week 1, and I think he was joking when he said this, but he said that he didn't really like that, you know, and it is a very diverse team, but he's been able to do some really, really interesting and cool things that we've seen throughout the season, and it isn't entirely all credit to him. Silly has made it work, and, you know, he's got 8 wins to make it into playoffs by running a quote-unquote meme team. You know, that Drake result has been so strong for him. He's got something like 25 kills. That Durant has been a great pickup for him since the midway point. You know, he had a bit of a big weakness going into the second half of the season. A lot of fairy type weakness in that team was becoming a bit of a problem. Durant seems to have sort of leveled that out when he actually brings it. But, you know, we've seen Sudowoodo do interesting things with Rattled. We've seen Weavile running Fling with a berry to buff attack. Honestly, a little bit like Latvians, you can never exactly call what Silly's going to do. And on the other side, we have, of course, got the Bulu Boys. You will notice on both teams there is new pickups. Bulu Boys have actually picked up Torjikis. Torjikis was actually dropped at the end of the first half of the season. But Matt electing to pick it back up. And on the other side, you've got Silvally. Silvally, a very, very interesting Pokemon. Seen it quite a little bit in the new Series 9 meta. And I think, you know, it's a very, very cool pickup. You know, obviously it has the RKS system, so it can turn itself into any typing, essentially. And has a pretty wide move pool. So Matt is going to need to watch out for that. Obviously, that Torjikis looking to take advantage of this. There's still quite a bit of a fairy type weakness, but, you know, going to have to watch out for that Durant for sure. We've seen Dracovish and Sableye, Jolteon, Porygon 2 do big work for the second half of the season, especially Porygon 2. You know, Porygon 2, you would normally expect to be running that Trick Room. You'd be expecting to run the Recover, you know, anything like that. You just be this big, bulky Eevee-like user that refuses to die, but Bulu Boys so far just use it as a special attack sweeper, and it's actually kind of worked. So full credit there, but let's get right into it. Let's not waste any more time as we move into game number 2. Bulu Boys taking on the Long Island Goomies, and it is Dracovish and P2 leading the line, and Gudra and Mushana leading the line for Silly. So no Durant on the line up there for Silly. Matt will be very pleased by that, and no Urshifu, so Silly is able to G-Max Dynamax whatever he likes. P2 and Dracovish are set on the side for Matt. Is the Centre Scorch in the back? We're going to have to wait and see what Porygon 2 does here. I wouldn't have thought Dracovish is going to go for that Dynamax. He's going to be looking to just take advantage of that strong draw with maybe a Scarf or something to just take out the opponent's vicious threat. With that Choice Scarf ability, Choice Scarf item so strong. And P2 goes to the Dynamax, so no sense going for that. There's the Skater Smack from the Gudra. Drops the special attack of the P2. There's the Crunch in the Mashana, doesn't quite take it out, doesn't drop its defense. And there's the Max Hailstorm. The Gudra takes it down just above full HP. There's the Misty Explosion. Doesn't quite take out Dracovish, but Mashana is going to go down for his troubles. Hail doing a bit of chip damage to both Dracovish and Gudra. And yeah, Mashana goes down. Not quite taking out Dracovish or Gudra, which I was very surprised, but there's a Sucker Punch on the Sudowoodo. Dracovish does go down and skips back again into the P2, drops his special attack again. Max Overgrowth into Sudowoodo, takes it down to below half, but that does activate a weakness policy on Sudowoodo. So Matt is going to have to really watch out for that. That could get quite scary. That Sudowoodo, I would think, is going to go for the Dynamax next turn. In comes the Torjikis. Torjikis, you know, is looking pretty strong against that post. That Gudra P2 still has its Dynamax available. You know, it has that Max Hailstorm and Max Overgrowth, so both Gudra and Sudowoodo are looking pretty weak to that. But there's the Skitters Mac into Torjikis, gets the crit as well, but does drop the special attack. Dazzling Gleam into the Gudra, takes it out. It doesn't quite take it to Sudowoodo. Sudowoodo's going to be slower than the P2 here. Max Overgrowth is going to take the Sudowoodo out, and it is now 1v3 for Silly. This game 1's looking already over, and doing with P2's Dynamax does end. And in comes the Comfey with it all to do now. We've typically been seeing Silly running a full support, so Comfey with the with the ally switch, triad but there is the getting the calm mind off. Fire Blast comes out from the dodge because there's an Ice Beam from the P2. Comfey slowly getting chip damage away from the hill, but the grassy terrain is replenishing its health as fast as Matt can get it down in 2 two special attackers on the field. That Comfy just keeps strengthening its special defense with the Calm Mind. Not quite sure what Silly is going for. There is the Fire Blast again. Does a little bit more damage, obviously, because of the Life Orb there, so taking a bit of chip damage with Puddle. And I think this is game one over, just slowly but surely chipping away at the Comfy to try and get it down. Matt could maybe do with swapping out the P2 here. Just, you know, reset a special attack just so you can actually do something. And there's another Calm Mind. In comes the Fire Blast, knocks it down to 11% HP. Is it going to be enough? There's a Thunderbolt, takes it down to 3. Comfy hangs on the grassy terrain, clears it back up to 8%. Is it going to be able to do it? What has Comfy got on its locker? There's the Giga Drain on the touch, gets a little bit of health back. Is it going to be enough? There's the Fire Blast onto Comfy, 5% HP. That is going to do it. Game number one goes to the Bulu Boys. Thunderbolt getting the killing blow from P2 as we move on into game number 2. And wow, what a crazy game. I don't think anyone expected this team to be silly. It goes Centiskorch and Dracovish, and it's Silvally and Mashan at this time. Now, what Silvally is it? It could genuinely be anything. It's very hard to tell. It doesn't actually say anywhere on there what Silvally is, so Matt depends on that. We think Centiskorch obviously has to go for his G-Max here. And we know how fast that Dracovish is. Does a Vicious Rend take out Moshana or Silvally though? Is it going to be strong enough? Obviously Centiskorch probably running a bug move here, so quick Max got a bite on Moshana. Moshana's not going to agree with taking that. There is Centiskorch with the G-Max, and there is the Vicious Rend, takes Silvally out. It's an Oko, and there's the Max Flutter Bite. It's a double Oko on turn 1. Not the start Silly would have wanted for game 2. In comes Comfy and Sudo Woodoo, and Silly with it all to do in turn 2 here. This is looking very, very difficult to come back from now. Sudo does go for the Dynamax. There's the Vicious Rend, the Sudo just about hanging on. Gets that weakness policy proc. Calm Mind comes out from the Comfy. And there is the Centinferno into the Comfy. Takes it down with a Sash, but that Centinferno damage is going to take out Max Block Ball. Hits the Centiskorch. Silly is going to get a kill here. Centiskorch goes down despite the Charty Berry. Centinferno, there you go, takes out the Comfy. Sudo just about hangs on for another turn, but that is going to be it. It's over in 3 turns. Dracovish getting the killing blow there, and probably one of the quickest games we've had all season, and it happens in playoffs. Fair play to Silly, he wanted to try something interesting, different, I don't know. It didn't quite work out for him. The Dracovish and the Centiskorch proving way too strong. You like the nicknames? Yeah, really solid stuff. Pretty happy to make it through to the winners bracket. So that does mean now that Matt's Bulu Boys will be taking on Latvians Miami Heat, where Silly moves on down to the losers bracket to take on Wheels Toadstar Belgrade. But we have one more match in our round 1 games to take a look at, and it is our first losers bracket game. Obviously, as I said, Toadstar Belgrade got the bye, so we only have one losers bracket round 1 game, and it is between getting ahead of myself. It is between Newcastle Thunderous and Shadow Kings. Clicking all the wrong buttons there. These guys obviously have the head-to-head record is wrong there. My apologies for that. Newcastle Thunderous obviously taking both wins during the regular season. First game of the season, Newcastle Thunderous were able to get the win. And Dogsy, unfortunately, due to time constraints and being busy with uni, was forfeited the reverse fixture. So Dave does have the advantage over Dogsy. As we know, as we spoke to Dogsy in pre-season, Dogsy pretty confident that he wanted to make the losers bracket run, if nothing else. And here he is. He's in losers bracket, ready to make the run. You know, fair play to Dave. Dave very nearly brought it back. You know, had we not had the forfeits towards the end of the season and Gus leaving the league, there was still a very good chance that Dave could actually make it a winners bracket. Had a few different games gone his way as well during the season. You know, you think back to the game against Silly where he unfortunately had to forfeit game 2 because he brought the wrong team. And the game against Gus as well where he brought the wrong team. Again, Dave very easily could have made winners bracket. He's done a very solid job, and he'll be looking to try and make the run. So this is going to be a very difficult competitive game. Strong game to call. Obviously, we've seen Dave employ that Rabombi and Lantern Aegis/Incin quite a fair bit so far. Lantern has just been an absolute steal since he picked it up in that halfway point of the season. it's just so strong, and especially running that stockpile move, it can be very, very difficult to deal with. We've not really seen too much of Mamoswine or Type Null, to be honest, but you never know. Dave could swap it up, bring something different here. Does the G-Max Charizard make its appearance? It's not made an appearance for a little while, but it could work out quite well here. Obviously, Dogsy has that G-Max Venusaur, the Cobalion, Excadrill, all pretty damn weak to a Charizard. But on the other side, obviously, you do have that G-Max Venusaur running with that Vulpix, can get that Chlorophyll ability going, and Vine Lash is going to hit hard and it's going to hurt. Alternatively, there's potential for beat up with Cobalion, with Dragapult. We've seen Slurpuff come and do bits. Krokorok swapping around, getting those Intims off has worked quite well for Shadow Kings. And Dogsy's made great use of the Ditto since he picked it up in the halfway point as well. So full credit to Dogsy. And as you can see there, has made a pickup before playoffs, picking up Morgrem. Obviously the second Evo in the Grimmsnarl Evo line. Probably will be running the Eviolite if we do see that Morgrem, which will make it very, very, very defensively strong. So you never know what could come. But without further ado, let's get into our third game. Newcastle Thunderous versus Shadow Kings. And there you see the Morgrem is in the line. Obviously the Galarian, Weezing, Ditto, Krokorok, Excadrill and Slurpuff. And it is Ribombee and Charizard that lead the line for Dave. So Dave is going to have to, can only G-Max that Charizard. Can't Dynamax any other Pokemon. In comes the Morgrem and the Krokorok. So trying to get that attack drops on the Charizard and the Ribombee. Dave's Charizard has been running a more special attacking build, so hopefully he's not swapped it up for this playoffs game. That could end up being really. But there's the Charizard with the G-Max, and the Protect comes out from the Krokorok, just trying to keep it around. There's a Thunder Wave on the Charizard though, and the Sunny Day from the Ribombee, but it doesn't matter because Charizard is paralyzed, so Charizard loses out a turn of its G-Max, which could be really, really big. Dogsy trying to stall it out, stop it from running house here. That Morgrem with that Prankster ability is so difficult to stop with those Thunder Waves. Unless you're running a Lumberry, it can be really, really troublesome. Obviously, Thunder Wave isn't a full accuracy move; it can miss, but something Dave is definitely going to have to keep an eye on in the rest of the match. Krokorok swaps out, in comes the Slurpuff. Thunder Wave onto the Ribombee as well. Now the double power of the skill swap though from the Ribombee gets the Prankster ability. G-Max Wildfire onto the Slurpuff. It's going to be doing that Wildfire chip damage now each turn. So Ribombee now with the Prankster ability. Morgrem now has has the other ability. I don't remember Ribombee's ability. But yeah, so both Ribombee and Charizard powered. They're going to be much slower than they were because of that power. And there's the potential that the Paralyze hits and Dave loses another turn of his G-Max here. Obviously, he has got that Wildfire off, which is good. It's going to be doing that chip damage for 3 turns for any Mons that come on the field for Dogsy. But Morgrem still hanging around, just sort of taunting Dave. Morgrem really looks like Potter Swim. There's the Dazzling Gleam into Charizard and Ribombee though. Light Screen goes up from the Morgrem, and that's another Power Max Airstream into the Slurpuff. Does take it out, gets that speed, so it's maybe going to go back to neutral speed now, gets that 1.5 times speed for both Ribombee and Charizard. Charizard's G-Max does end. Obviously Dogsy has not brought that Venusaur, so Dogsy he can Dynamax whichever he likes. In comes the Krokorok, gets that Intim off again, drops the attack of the Ribombee Charizard. Ribombee's not going to care too much about that, but it depends what build Charizard is running. Yeah, sorry, Shield does a sweet veil out of being. My apologies. In comes the Lantern, though, swaps out for the Charizard. Krokorok blocks the Moonblast. Extra Sensory hits at the Lantern, trying to get those that little bit of extra chip damage. And that Wildfire just slowly eating away at Morgrem and Krokorok's health. There is the Light Screen up from Dogsy. So Dogsy obviously expecting that it's a full special attack build. Obviously Lantern is a special attacker. But is it going to be the same for Charizard? In comes the Galarian Weezing with the Misty Sedge. Moonblast hits into that as a great switch in for Dogsy to stop the Krokorok going down. The Reflect goes up. There's the Scald into the Galarian Weezing as well. So no burns to go off because of the misty terrain. So no burn fishing, unfortunately. And Morgrem is still just hanging around. It is still a 3v4 as we move on into number 6. Every time these two guys play, it seems like it's never over and done with like the rest of our games in the league. Most of our games are over and done within 5 or 6 turns. But whenever these two play, it seems to always go on for quite some time, and it's full credit to them both playing the patient game, trying to stall each other out. And there is the Galarian Weezing with the Dynamax Moonblast hits into the Mogram. Mogram finally goes, and there's the Volt Switch into the Galarian Weezing. And it is now Galarian Weezing and Krokorok with it all to do. Aegislash swaps in thanks to that Volt Switch with its balloon. There's the Max Ooze on the Rabombi, so Rabombi goes down. Finally, one of Dave's monsters goes down. It is now a 2v3. And Dave can at least say he now has no paralyzed Pokemon on the field. Obviously Charizard is still paralyzed, but Lantern and Aegislash come in. There is the Intim again from the Krokorok, just good rotation play from Dogsy. And now Galarian Weezing does have that special attack boost thanks to that Max Ooze that's taken out the Rabombi. Aegislash obviously running that balloon, so no ground moves could really hurt it, but if Galarian Weezing is running a fire move, it could be. There's a Krokorok with a Protect, stops that Skull from taking it out. There is the Max Ooze onto the Lantern, does about 40% damage, does get that special attack buff again. There's the stance change from the Aegislash. The Iron Head hitting into the Galarian Weezing, taking it down to 36% HP, just slowly but surely chipping it away as we move on into turn 8. That Aegislash obviously is running that King's Shield, has the stance change ability, can run King's Shield, which is going to drop the attack of any poor Pokemon that do happen to hit into it. And yeah, so Krokorok uses Protect there. Does Dogsy maybe try and go for a double Protect? Try and keep on for a bit longer. There's the stance change to the Aegislash, gets the King's Shield up. The Brick Break into the Lantern. Lantern not going to be bothered by that. There's the Scald, the Krokorok, it goes down. Galarian Weezing also the Max Flare hits an Aegislash. It is going to pop the balloon, gets the Sun up. Aegislash just managed to tank that though, despite it being a super effective attack, because of its King's Shield. The Galarian Weezing with the Black Sludge replenishing a little bit of its health, but it's going to auto-do. There's the Volt Switch into the Galarian Weezing. Galarian Weezing just about hanging on, but this is going to be game number 1. Here comes Charizard. Dazzling Gleam hits both. It's not going to really do much. There is a stance change from Aegislash. Iron Head into the Galarian Weezing, and that is game numero uno to Dave. First blood to Newcastle Thunderous. And is it going to be a repeat of game number 1? Let's see as we move on into game 2. This time Lantern and Claydol leading the line for Dave, and it's Morgrem and the Slurp up for Dogsy. Dave's seeing the destructive power of that Thunder Wave from Morgrem already, so he's going to have to watch out for that. And obviously that Slurp up running that, typically has been running that Unburden ability with a Psychic Seed or a Misty Seed, just to get that Spadef buff, and then it goes Burr, it goes Speedy. So Claydol, is typically the Trick Room setter. If Dusknoir doesn't come, I think has access to Light Screen as well, so it has access to screen. So running a bit of a support mon and sweeper here. The Slab Up goes to the Dynamax. The Light Screen goes off in the Morgrem. There's the Max Guys in the Claydol, but Claydol just doesn't care about that. Sets up the Rain as well for Lantern, but that Scald into the Slab Up isn't going to really do very much thanks to the Light Screen. And yeah, despite the Rain being up, the Slab Up doesn't really care about that one. But Trick Room does go up, thankfully, via Claydol. So Dave does have that speed control now. And there is the Metronome from the Morgan. Gets Power Trip thanks to that. Air Power comes out from the Claydol onto the Slab Up. There's a Scald again, trying to get those bends. The Max Geyser is going to take Claydol out though, and that is advantage Dogsy 4v3. And Morgrem with the Metronome. Who would have predicted that? So that could end up causing some problems later on, depending on what moves it ends up picking. Rabombi now swaps in. Rabombi obviously not going to enjoy too much working in the Trick Room, but it can make it work. I doubt it's going to care too much about taking any hits from Morgrem or Slurp up here. So if it can, just get some sort of status move going. There's the Thunder Wave into the Rabombi, the Paralyze again. Scald again at Slurp up, trying to get that burn, and does get the burn this time. Paralyze does proc on the Rabombi. Max Starfall into the Lantern. Just a 10, just slightly too late to stop that banging off. Slurp off Dynamax does end, and Dave still has that Dynamax available. But Rabombi not getting a 10 off thanks to that power, but maybe that does actually end up benefiting it, because the Paralyze obviously is going to be slowing it down to work under Trick Room. But there is the Metronome, the beat up into the Lantern. not going to be doing too much. Obviously, I think Dogsy was hoping for something a little bit different. Hits into the Scald into Morgan. Morgan not going to care too much. And the Moonblast into Morgan. Morgan just lives that thanks to the light screen. There's the Dazzling Gleam. And again, we move on to the 10-5, and there's only one Pokemon down on both sides. Just honestly, it's you just don't expect it from our league. You expect, you know, high octane 5-10 action, and yeah, we watched Dave and Dogsy just play the slow game, and it's just honestly wonderful to see. The glare comes out from the Lantern, but Lantern isn't immune to that critical hit in the Scald Morgram. Hang on, there's a shield dust under the Morgram. Ribombee gets the Prankster Dazzling Gleam. Lantern just about hangs on thanks to that and keeps a little bit of health back thanks to the leftovers. Ribombee as well, just about hanging on, as we've got 4 Mons on the field with about 20% HP each. Lantern and Morgram both for 7 as well. Morgram does swap out. In comes the Excadrill. The Protect comes out from the Lantern, and there is the Sunny Day from the Ribombee. Dazzling Gleam is going to take out the Ribombee though, and it is now 2v4 for Dave in this game number 2. He's got it all to. In comes the Charizard though. Dave patiently waiting to bring that Gmax in. Trick Room is gone, and now Dave can get that Charizard going and do some start doing some big damage. Excadrill, as we said, is not gonna enjoy too much taking a Wildfire from that Charizard. But if Dogsy can somehow nullify it, then it's, you know. But the Excadrill swaps out. In comes the Ditto. Ditto copies the Lantern, and it's now Dazzling Gleam takes out the Lantern as well. So it is now a Lantern for Dogsy. The Ditto copying the Lantern, as we saw. The Wildfire hits into the Ditto. Wildfire is going to take out the Slurpup, and it is now a 3v2. Morgram comes in, just hanging on with 7% HP, but Charizard now to 1v3 has another 2 turns of Gmax. And wow, I don't think Dave expected that whatsoever. Excadrill, as we said, wouldn't have enjoyed taking that fire attack. So great swap out from Dogsy, good prediction play, and yeah, that Lantern can do some damage to Charizard. And Dogsy obviously getting that information as well to find out what Lantern's got. But there's the Thunder Wave at the Charizard, gets the Parrot off, and the Paralyzed procs as well. Charizard loses out a turn of Gmax. Morgram does go down thanks to the Wildfire. It is now Excadrill and Ditto versus Charizard. That Wildfire damage slowly chipping away at Lantern, so Lantern only just hanging on. And there you go, the Excadrill protects. Scald into the Charizard, not really doing all that much thanks to the Sunbeam up. There's the Wildfire into the Excadrill. Excadrill goes down to 30% HP. The Wildfire again. Lantern just about hangs on. Can Dave win it? Can he get the game number 2 out of nowhere? You know, it's one more turn of Wildfire. If he's got a Protect on there, he can maybe stall out and hope that the Wildfire takes them out. But that's a really big if. We've not seen Protect from the Charizard so far, so we don't know. And I would have thought that the Excadrill is going to be faster than, and the Lantern's going to be faster than Charizard thanks to the Paralyze. This could be game number 2 for Dogsy. He's played this absolutely phenomenally. There's the Iron Head on the Charizard. Takes the life orb under the Excadrill, takes it down to 10% HP, and the Scald from the Lantern takes out the Charizard to tie us all up at 1 apiece. What a sensational game too. Impossible to call at the end there. I really thought Charizard might have just about squeezed it out at the end, but Dogsy playing it really well, getting that Thunder Wave off just before Morgan went down, proving to be what ended up getting the game win. And in comes Morgram and Excadrill this time, and Ribombee Lantern for Dave. As we have our final game to decide. Winner goes through to loser's bracket round 2. Loser goes home with nothing but their head in their hands, all to play for in this final game. And yeah, Dave is going to have to watch out for that Morgam's Thunder Wave. The Protect comes off the Excadrill, and there is the Thunder Wave again on the Ribombee. Ribombee, the Paralyzed procs. Scald hits into the Excadrill, but is protected, so it doesn't do anything. And oh dear. I think Dave trying to go for that skill swap again onto the Morgram. Not going to quite work out though, thanks to the Paralyze. The Paras working in their favour for Dogsy once again. We saw it happen against Rio's Toadstar Belgrade earlier in the season. And here we go again. It's beggars belief. But the Excadrill does swap out. Ditto copies the Lantern again. There's the light screen from the Morgan. Ribombee gets hit with the Para again. Scald hits into the Lantern. Lantern's not going to care too much about that, especially the light screen, only doing about 11% damage. A great swap out again from Dogsy. Obviously, saw that Extra Drill wouldn't have enjoyed taking another Scald there. Gets the Ditto in and copies the Lantern. And, oh man. Great swap outs for Dogsy. And Dave losing out again to another Paralyze. Can Rabombi get something going here? Who knows? Obviously trying to get either a Sunny Day up or the skill swap off to you know, try and get something going. But at the moment, the Para's just hitting. There is the Perish Song though, thanks to the Metronome. And now Dave has 3 turns to either swap out the both Pokemon or get something going against Dogsy. And the stockpile comes out from the Lantern, from the Ditto, the copied Lantern. And oh boy, 3 turns for something to happen. Yeah, Metronome Perish Song. Who could have called that? Of all the moves for it to pick, it picks Perish Song. Exactly, Dave. Only in the British Pokemon League to see that. There's the Astonish, the Mogram, trying to get that flinch. Moonblast hits the Mogram, the light screen's going to keep it going. Scald does a little bit of damage for a Bombi, but the flinch from the Astonish. Lantern's not going to get to go. Leftovers takes about 100% HP, but there you go. Perish in 2 as the clock starts ticking down for Dave to either swap them out or get the kills done. And at the moment, while that light screen's up, it's not looking possible. The Para hits a Rabombi again. Extra gets a free swap, and there's the Scald onto the Lantern. Scald from the Ditto hits into Rabombi. Not going to quite take out the Perish next turn. Is Dave going to swap them out, or is he going to lose both Rabombi and Lantern here? Dogsy, you would think, is going to try and swap out that Ditto, try and get something else copied at the end. But Dave really needs to swap out both these Pokemon now to try and keep them alive. Otherwise, he's going to lose 2 Pokemon in 1. And that Extra looking awfully scary for that Lantern. And the Rabombi, Iron Head or a Ground Move. There you go, there's what Morgram comes back in. Protect comes out from the Extra Drill. Sunny Day gets set up, there's the Scald into the Morgram, it's not going to quite do enough. And Lantern and Rabombi both go down to the Periton. It is now 2v4. Charizard and Aegislash versus the world. Morgram, just about hanging on with that 20% HP. But, another Thunder Wave, and this could be curtains for Dave here. Dogsy playing this sensationally. Unfortunate that Dave didn't see to swap that out there at the end. But it is what it is. Obviously, Dave had a plan in mind there, and it's not over. Charizard still has its G-Max. Charizard's G-Max and its ability is so strong. In comes the Krokorok, gets that Intim off on Aegislash and Charizard. Charizard goes big. There's the Thunder Wave again onto the Charizard, but doesn't affect this time. The Wildfire takes out the Krokorok as well, and there's the first blow to Dave. Iron Head into Morgram. It is now 2v2. There you go, 110. We said it was 4v2, and it was looking bad for Dave, but there you go, brings it back. And Dave could very well be in with the shout of making it through here. 2v2. Ditto and Excadrill versus Charizard Aegislash. Which mon is Ditto going to copy here? In comes Ditto. It's going to copy the Charizard. There's the Excadrill. So Ditto copies G-Max Charizard, and Dogsy still has a Dynamax available, so Dogsy can Dynamax that G-Max Charizard, which sounds absolutely crazy to say, but it's actually possible. So here we go then. Who is going to make it through? This is it. You would think within a 1 or 2 turns this is going to be over. What can Dogsy do? What can Dave do to get the win? It doesn't copy G-Max, just the Pokemon. Sorry, I thought, well, it copies its G-Max form. If nothing else, it looks quite imposing seeing 2 G-Maxes on the field. There you go, there's the Dynamax from the G-Max. Charizard, Max Wind hits an Aegislash. It's going to drop that attack a little bit more. Pops the balloon to the Aegislash. There's the Max Airstream into the Ditto, trying to neutralize the speed. The Iron Head into the Excadrill, protected. Excadrill stays around. That Wildfire is going to be doing that chip damage though to Dogsy's side. Here we go then. No protect now for Excadrill. If it takes a Wildfire from Charizard, this is going to be bad news for Excadrill. And the same on the other side of the Aegislash. If it doesn't King Shield, which you would expect it to after it's just done an attack, it's going to take a fire move from that Ditto / Charizard, and that could be counts for Aegislash as well. There's the Max Flare into Aegislash. Aegislash goes down to the Max Flare, and there is the Iron Head of the Charizard trying to get that flinch. Not very effective, but the Para The para goes off again, stopping Dave from getting another G-Max move, and now Ditto has 2 turns of Dynamax left. Charizard loses G-Max. It is 1v2. Charizard versus Excadrill. And we know that it's going to be... There's the Max Wormwind. The Charizard drops its attack again. There's the Iron Head. And that is going to be it. Game number 3 goes to Dogsy. Unfortunately, Dave crashes out of the British Pokemon League playoffs. What a sensational game in our first game of the losers bracket. Unbelievable stuff. Unbelievable, Jeff. Great games to both guys there. Impossible to call. Who could have predicted that Metronome would bring out Perish Song? Honestly, after it brought out what was it? I can't even remember the first one, but then it did Beat Up. Stretch. Unbelievable. Unbelievable, Jeff. That is what we want to see in the playoffs. As we move on now to our losers bracket round 2 games. Now, the first game, obviously, between Toadstar Belgrade and Long Island Goomies. We're gonna get into that right now. We're not gonna do a team preview screen. I'm gonna just let the video play, and you can see kind of what happened in that game. There we go. Unfortunately, as you saw, they both decided to play meme teams. They basically agreed to pick each other's teams, and honestly, I didn't feel like putting anyone through watching that after I had to watch it. So nobody needs to see that. But Silly did make it through. So Wio, after getting that bye, is the next casualty in our losers bracket. Not even getting a game win, crashes out in losers round 2. As we move on into losers round 2, match number 2, Inglorious Surfers versus Shadow Kings, Aaron versus Dogsy. Yeah, Aaron with both wins over Dogsy. As I said, just like Dave, got the second win thanks to a forfeit. Obviously, Dogsy unavailable due to uni commitments. And Dogsy looks to continue this loser bracket run. Obviously, we saw a little bit earlier Aaron losing out, unfortunately, to Latvian in a 2-0 fashion. But this could go absolutely either way. You would think that Aaron's going to try and get that Hatterene and DD Follow Me Trick Room set up to go off. But we just saw the destructive power of Morgrem there. Obviously, with that Psychic Terrain, Morgrem's probably not going to be the best to bring, stopping any priority moves. But that's not to say that it won't come at all. It's such a difficult Pokemon to deal with. Excadrill could be a really good pick here, as well as Cobalion. Maybe a Ditto could work out in Dogsy's favour, but I would think that we're definitely going to see the Trick Room team from Aaron here. But it does have that, as we said, we spoke before, it does have that option to bring the Terrakion beat-up play, along with Grookey and maybe Bolt Hunt or Scrafty in the back to get those Intims off. And, you know, he could choose to bring the Riolu Hatterene as we saw against Lap. Maybe that's a game where this works. But we'll have to wait and see. On the side of Dogsy, does the G-Max Venusaur come this time? We've not really seen too much of it this season, so maybe it makes appearance to get those that chip damage with Vine Lash. Potentially as well, we saw Weezing there with the Misty Surge. Maybe it comes in to reset that terrain, but who knows? I'm going to stop blabbering on. Let's get into our losers round 2, match 2. Dogsy versus Aaron, Shadow Kings versus Inglorious Surfers, and there is the Hatterene and Indeedee lead, as we expected. An Excadrill and Morgrem lead the line for Dogsy. Morgrem making another appearance again to taunt from across the field to Aaron. Psychic Terrain goes up, as we said, thanks to that Indeedee, and I would expect to see the Follow Me and Trick Room go up. Go then, we move on into into turn number 1. Both coaches deciding what they want to do. The extra drill goes straight for the Dynamax. There's the follow me onto the Indeedee. Light screen goes up from the Mogram. Max Flutterby is going to take Indeedee down to its sash, and Hatterene is going to get that trick him up, but that flat Flutterby does drop the special attack of both Hatterene and Indeedee. And great 10 there for Dogsy. As I said, gets a special attack drop, gets the light screen up, so it's going to nullify that Hatterene's attacking prowess that we've seen. It's got such destructive power. It's very, very difficult to stop. Indeed, just hanging on thanks to that sash. There's the expanding force. It's not going to do anything Morgram, but Extra hardly taking any damage, and the expanding force from the Indeedee as well. Extra resists it. There's the foul play on the Indeedee. Indeedee goes down. Hatterene doesn't G-Max, and Max Quake goes up, gets the death buff. Hatterene doesn't go for the... You've got to think that's going to be a mistake from Aaron there, not G-Maxing. Hatterene just about hanging on as Cloyster now comes in. Cloyster, we've seen a few times during the season, can be a strong Pokemon, is going to work really well against Excadrill here potentially if it can get something going. But that Hatterene now with it all to do 2% HP, Aaron with a Pokemon down, and Excadrill looking mighty strong with the light screen, with the special attack drop, and with the special defense buff for both itself and Morgram. And advantage Dogsy for sure. Here we go then as we move into turn number 3. As we said, remember the loser of this game, now we're in loser's bracket, the loser does go home, the winner lives to fight another day. Both coaches again taking their time, choosing what they want to do. Hatterene does now finally go for his G-Max, there it is. The Reflect goes up from the Morgram. The G-Max Might in the Morgram. Morgram just hangs on for that, gets the confusion on both. But Excadrill has that Lumberry, the confusion ends, and the Hatterene goes down. That's just live up. There's the Ice Crush at the Morgram. Morgram doesn't really care about that. There's the Max Rockfall into Cloyster. Cloyster doesn't quite go down, but it does get the Sunstone just for Excadrill, just to get a little bit more special defense like it needed. In comes Scrafty to get that attack drop on Morgram, and Excadrill could be quite useful against that Excadrill. Crafty as well is going to be looking to do a bit of damage to Excadrill here. If they can get something going, that Reflect and Light Screen both up for Dogsy, just completely just stalling Aaron's attacks out, just not able to get anything going in this game number 1. Aaron said unfortunately, but there's the Wheezing swaps out, gets the Misty Surge up. There is the Liquidation into the Wheezing, just get the defense drop thanks to the Fire Punch comes out on the Excadrill. Excadrill doesn't quite go, there's the Rock Slide onto Cloyster. Cloyster goes down, it does miss the Scrafty, so no flinch, and there it is. 1v4. Scrafty versus the world. Scrafty with it all to do now. And Excadrill has just put on an absolute clinic in this game 1. Great stuff from Dogsy. Unfortunate from Aaron. I said I don't know if that was a misclick or something to not G-Max the Hatterene. But it happens. There's the Rock Slide from the Scrafty. Trying to get the flinch. Doesn't work. There's a Dazzling Gleam from the Wheezing. And game number 1 goes to Dogsy. So Dogsy rolling on. Getting another game win. And advantage Dogsy, advantage Shadow Kings as we move on into game 2. There's the Hatton and Indeedee lead as we expected. And then Morgram and Excadrill opposite it, that we just saw do so much work. Can Aaron get something going this time round? No, yes, the Excadrill he knows has that Lumberry now and is going to stop at least one confusion, but if Hatterene can live it out, outlast it, it can maybe get another one going, and Aaron can maybe hope to get that RNG to trigger. The Excadrill goes to the Dynamax, there's the Follow Me, the light screen goes up from the Morgan again, it's a repeat of game 1, Max Quake comes out, it doesn't take Indeedee down, it's Sash to take it down to 8% HP, and there is the Trick Room going up. You would think now that Hatterene has to go for his G-Max now in this next turn. Indeedee and maybe go with the Helping Hand just to try and get some damage going. Excadrill does have that special defense buff thanks to that Max Quake, and the light screen is up. So no Max Flutterby to drop the special attack this time round. There it is, there's the G-Max, the Hatterene Follow Me, comes out for the Indeedee again. G-Max Smite hits in the Morgan. Morgan doesn't go down, there's the confusion though. Excadrill uses Lumberry, gets itself back healthy. There's the foul play on the Indeedee. Indeedee goes down again to that foul play. There's the Max Quake onto the Hatterene, takes it down to half HP and gets another special defense buff on the Excadrill. Excadrill has been so strong in this matchup. But Hatterene, with Trick Room, it is going to be going first, can get another Smite off here and get that confusion, and I would think another Smite is going to take that Morgram out if it chooses to hang around. In comes Cloyster again, just a rinse and repeat of game number 1. And what can Cloyster get going here? We saw it had Liquidation and Ice Cream Crush last time. See Liquidation into that extra drill is going to be doing some damage. If Aaron can maybe focus out the extra drill once that Morgrim's dealt with, can maybe get something going, get himself back into the game to keep him sticking around in playoffs. Just take a drink of water here. Here we go. Final 10 of Dynamax for Extra Drill. Hattering isn't there. Morgram confused, hits itself. G-Max Smite into the Extra Drill. No, not the Morgram. Does get the confusion off though. And there is the Liquidation. The Extra Drill takes it down below half HP. Extra Drill does manage to hit itself as well as Extra Drill's Dynamax ends. So great turn there for Aaron. He's still in it. Hattering now has one more turn of G-Max. Obviously we saw Cloyster move before Extra Drill, so Cloyster obviously running slower than Extra Drill. If he can take out that Morgram and maybe Cloyster can take out that Extra Drill, Aaron could be back in it. Or is Extra Drill, is it going to be able to hang on and, you know, shake off that confusion and take the Hatterene out? Who knows? Obviously the Hatterene running Magic Bounce, so Morgram can't do any Thunder Wave shenanigans this time round. Obviously Wild Psychic Terrain's up, no points moves go, but Morgram hits itself again though. There's a G-Max Smite. Morgram does go down. First one killed on the board. There's Liquidation, Extra Drill. There it is. As we said, both Mons down. Morgram, Extra Drill go down. It is now 3v2. Hatterene's G-Max does end, and Aaron is right back in this one. And Ditto and the Wheezing, Galarian Wheezing come in, and Ditto has the room service, copies that Hatterene. So Hatterene, the Ditto Hatterene is now going to be slower than Aaron's Hatterene, and Galarian Wheezing resets the terrain. So no Psychic Terrain now. Monster moves can work, priority moves as well, but not that that's going to matter too much. Morgram is gone. I would think that Scrafty's going to be hanging around in the back for Aaron here. But Hatterene versus Hatterene, this is not something it's not something we would ever see in our draft league. Obviously, everyone picks one mon each. You don't typically see any copy Mons, but Dogsy using that Ditto to absolute perfection since he's picked it up. But still advantage to Aaron. Aaron can still walk away from this one with the game winning, maybe roll on into game 3 to try and win the match and get himself through. Protect comes out from the Hatterene. There's a Dazzling Gleam into the Cloyster. Cloyster going down below half HP. The Ice Crash into the Wheezing, doing a little bit of damage there. And there's another Dazzling Gleam. Is Cloyster going to hang on? Cloyster hangs on with 2% HP. Great turn there from Dogsy, and the Trick Room does end. As far as I know as well, Room Service now, the effects of that are nullified, so if that Ditto is obviously not going to be slower than the Hatterene now, and I would think it would be a speed tie. If it was maybe Scarf Ditto, then it would obviously be going faster, but thanks to the speed tie now. There's the Ice Shard into the Wheezing, not quite doing enough. There's the Dazzling Gleam, takes out the Cloyster. Hatterene just hanging on. There's the Dazzling Gleam and Ditto into the Hatterene as well. And it's now all of a sudden it's 1v2. It's Gigalith in the back, not the Scrafty. Gigalith hunks onto the field. It's going to be super slow, but is it going to be faster than the Hat? Can it live an attack from the Wheezing? Obviously, an Iron Head into the Wheezing. There's the Dazzling Gleam into the Gigalith. Gigalith doesn't really care about that. Another one into the Gigalith. The Explosion comes out, takes out the Wheezing, but unfortunately, Gigalith's going to go down first. And Shadow Kings get the win over Aaron. Aaron crashing out of the British Pokemon League playoffs. A very ballsy play at the end there of Gigalith. But unfortunately, Hatterene hanging on. Gigalith goes down thanks to the Explosion. He had to go for something there to try and take it out. And, yeah, exploding out of the league. GG's to both players there. Again, another great losers bracket game. Impossible to call. You know, at one point it definitely looked like Dogsies, but once both Extra Drill and Morgan went down, it could have went either way as we move on. So that does mean that Aaron Aaron crashes out. Dogsy sticks around again. Let's take a look at the updated playoffs bracket. As you can see here, we have got Bulu Boys, Miami Heat next. Next up, as you know, Long Island Goomies and Inglorious Surfers both through. So let's move on. Let's get onto that game. Bulu Boys versus Miami Heat. This is the big one. We've got first versus second in the league. This is the one everyone's been looking forward to. Both these guys have traded games during the season. Latvian got first blood on week 7, winning out 2-1. And in week 13, Bulu Boys obviously picking up the 2-1 victory the other way around. Again, as we spoke about earlier in the show, impossible to call Latvian's team. It's so strong no matter what it brings. So Matt is going to have to watch out for that. Last time round, Joltion and Dragovic, along with Kruk, which is unfortunately no longer a part of the team, and Morwell really put in the work for Bulu Boys, especially that Joltion got that critical hit over the drift limb, and that contributed heavily to winning the game. Could we see Matt try and employ the Joltion again, as I said, knowing how strong it was last time round, or maybe try something different, depending what lap brings. You know, you just got to work around it. It's going to be a meeting of the minds. It's going to be a great game. Without further ado, let's get in with Bulu Boys versus Miami Heat in our winners final. And there you go. There's the Lipad and Slowbro, the Torkoal, and the Machamp, along with Cinderace, Blastoise, and Sableye and Centiskorch lead the line for Matt. In comes the Slowbro and the Lipad. You would think they're going to try and maybe go for that Trick Room copycat Max Guard play. But while Sableye is hanging around, Sableye obviously does have that fake out, so Lat is going to maybe have to watch out for that. Maybe stall it out until the next turn. Stop that from preventing the preventing the Lipad from doing what it does. Because even though Lipad runs the fake tease as well with that prankster ability, it can really just aid Slowbro so much, and Slowbro can just absolutely run house. There's the quick draw from the Slowbro. Slowbro doesn't it does Dynamax, it does get the quick draw. The Centiskorch obviously goes to G-Max Protect, comes out from the Lipad, stops that prankster, stops that Sableye getting a pick off the Max Mindstorm, hitting the Centiskorch, gets that Psychic Terrain up, which is absolutely genius, to be honest. Stops that Sableye from using any status moves against Slowbro and Lipad. You see Lipad can run that copycat in the Psychic Terrain. Centiskorch does get the Centre Ferno onto the Lipad through the Protect. It's going to be doing that chip damage through either turn, and obviously Lap now cannot swap Lipad or Slowbro out unless that Lipad is running the U-turn. Helping Hand comes out from the Centiskorch. You didn't see it there, unfortunately. I skipped it. The Max Darkness obviously hits into the Slowbro and gets protected. Lipad did get the Trick Room up thanks to that Max Guard and the Copycat play. Here we go then, so obviously that Slowbro is going to be moving first now, regardless of that. Obviously that Lipad now can't, because he's done that, can't go for that fake tease, so can't start dropping those stats, but as I said, has nullified the Sableye on the other side of it. So great work there from Matt, great smarts, stopping Sableye from doing what it does. Said that Centiskorch just had that Max Darkness now, which is super good with Slowbro. Helping Hand comes out. There's the Max Ooze onto the Sableye. It's going to resist it, but it's going to give that special attack buff to Slowbro, which it needs. There's the Max Darkness into the Slowbro. Takes it down to 50% HP. That does a lot and drops the special defense. There's the U-turn on the Sableye, so Lipad does get out of there, does get out of the Centre Ferno damage, and in comes Machamp. Slowbro takes a little bit of Centre Ferno damage for his troubles, and both Slowbro and Centiskorch's Dynamax and D-Max do end. Trick Room still has another 3 turns. We've still got another 2 or so turns of Psychic Terrain as well. Slowbro is trapped in. It can't switch out unless it's got a U-turn or a button pass, something along those lines. So it is going to be taking that chip damage. Sableye swaps out, in comes the Dragovic. Protect comes out from the Centiskorch. There's a Scald from the Slowbro. Dragovic is just not going to care about that too much. Stone Edge into the Centiskorch gets stopped thanks to Protect, and Slowbro goes down to the Centre Ferno damage, and that is advantage to the Bulu Boys. Slowbro down. Only 2 turns left to Trick Room, and in comes the Torkoal to get the Sun up. That is going to give Centiskorch a buff to its fire attacks, but obviously Dragovic, we know how strong that Vicious Rend is. Dragovic cannot get the full sort of damage done with the Vicious Rend, and obviously the Trick Room is not going to go first. We know that Dragovic is Ring Scarf, but Dragovic swaps out, in comes Sableye. There's the Ancient Power into Centiskorch. Centiskorch just about hangs on. There's a Dynamic Punch into Sableye, gets blocked, as Sableye is not affected by that. The Sash, Flare Blitz takes Machamp down with Sash, but the Flare Blitz is unfortunately going to take Centiskorch out for his troubles. Machamp just about hanging on, and in comes Togekiss. 1 more turn of Trick Room to go. Machamp 1% HP with that Sash. Togekiss in a good spot here. I said no Trick Room can go off now, so if It's all slow mons on the side of Lat, so Matt does have a bit of an advantage here. Machamp swaps out, in comes the Lipad. The Protect comes out from the Torchikiss, and you didn't see it there. Unfortunately, I skipped it again. I didn't mean to do that. Eruption comes out from the Toggle to take out the Sableye. In comes the Dracovish, and it is now a 3v2 for Lat. Obviously, Lat does have the 1 HP Machamp still kicking about. Lipad now can go get those fake tears, get those stat moves off because the Psychic Terrain is done. Vicious Rend could be a big factor here for Dracovish. It's obviously going to move fast, and Eruption is going to be no good from that Toggle. And depending on what Torchikiss has here, can maybe get some work done at least against the Lipad, and maybe does he double focus the Torkoal to stop it from doing anything. There's the copycat, gets the eruption off from the Lipad, doesn't really do. There's a Vicious Rend and the Torkoal lives that thanks to the sun. That's the ancient power from the Torchikiss, takes out the Torkoal, and it is now a 2v2. It's a 1 HP Machamp and Lipad versus Dracovish and Torchikiss. In comes Machamp then. Dracovish is obviously going to move fast thanks to that Vicious Rend. Torchikiss, what has it got in its locker? There's the Vicious Rend, takes out the Machamp, and the Aura Sphere into the Lipad, takes out the Lipad, and it's advantage Matt in this winners final. Bulu Boys go 1-0 up against Latvians Miami Heat. A sensational game. It goes all the way to turn 8. Matt able to stall out that Trick Room there. Worked really, really well. And in we go to game 2. It's Cinderace and Blastoise this time. You know how strong this duo is. Torchikiss and Dracovish leading the line for Matt. If Dracovish can get a Vicious Rend off against that Cinderace, Cinderace is gonna it's gonna be turned to pulp essentially. But what is that Blastoise running? If that Blastoise has Fake out, then that is gonna be it's gonna be curtains for Dracovish. And here we go then. Moves are picked as we move on into turn number 1. The Cinderace goes for its G-Max. The Torchikiss goes for its Dynamax as well. The Fake out onto the Dracovish. There it is. I don't think Max expected that. Gets the flinch. Max Airstream into the Dracovish. Activates out the Libero. Dracovish just about hangs on, but does get that speed buff for both Cinderace and Blastoise. There's a Max Phantasm into the Blastoise. Drops that defense, but that White Herb is going to restore Cinderace's stats. So no defense drop on the Cinderace. And that Cinderace now is probably going to be faster than that Dracovish. So Vicious Rend not going to be able to do its thing here. And this is bad news for Dracovish. Does maybe Matt swap out the Dracovish here, just try and get it back in a little bit later if we can deal with the Cinderace or not. But while that Cinderace is hanging around, it's so strong. There's the Max Knuckle. With the Cinderace into the Jolteon, sorry, goes down to 5% HP, just about hanging on the Skull into the Torchikiss, trying to get that bend. There's the Max Rockfall into the Cinderace. Unfortunately, Matt not able to predict the type change. And Jolteon, unfortunately, goes down thanks to that Rockfall. The Sandstorm damage takes it out, and that's advantage Lat. Lat with all 4 Pokemon still hanging out. Blastoise and Cinderace just doing their work here. And in comes the Golisopod. Obviously has potentially 2 priority moves. First Impression, Sucker Punch, going to be trying to get something going here. Try and get an attack off. But Lat chooses to swap Blastoise. Torkoal comes in with the Drought. There's the First Impression of Torkoal, but Torkoal's not going to care too much about that. Max Airstream into the Golisopod. Golisopod goes down to that, and it is now a 2v4. Max Phantasm into the Cinderace. Going to take it down for half HP, but Matt just has no answer for the Cinderace whatsoever. Torchikiss, Dynamax ends, Cinderace G-Max ends. In comes Dracovish, but Cinderace is going to be way faster now than that Dracovish. And you would think that he's going to be able to focus that with something. That Cinderace now with the buffed attack is looking so strong. We're only in turn number 5 here, and it's already looking like this game 2 is done and dusted with another win for Miami Heat. Obviously, the winner of this game is going to go through to Grand Finals. The loser drops down to the loser bracket. Pyro Ball comes out, the Cinderace. The Sun boosted Pyro Ball takes it out. There's the Vicious Rend finally takes Cinderace out. The Weather Ball though from the Torkoal is going to take it out, and Lat ties us up at 1 apiece. Miami Heat 1, Bulu Boys 1. As we move into game 3, the deciding game. Jolteon comes in, Dracovish comes in. There's the Slowbro and Lipad that we saw in game 1, and Matt is not going to want to see this. Both Jolteon and Dracovish, obviously both very fast ones, and I think Lat can very safely just get the copycat Trick Room up here. They can maybe sack Lipad up, but that Slowbro can do so much work. Once that is done. got to expect that's what's going to come out from that. Obviously, all Matt can really do is try and take out the life pad, but because that Frank said earlier, he's going to get the trick room off. It depends what Matt has in the back. Obviously, if there's maybe the centre score kicking around, or the life support can maybe do something. But it depends if he's got the call right here on what Lat is going to bring. Let's see. There's the Jolt, so no sense caution. What Jolt Young goes for it's Dynamax. Slowbro goes for its Dynamax. There's the Max Guard. The copycat Trick Room play goes up. Max Lightning at the life pad is going to take it out. Vicious Rend obviously going to get blocked by that Max Guard. And, you know, it's advantage map, but that Trick Room is up and Torkoal is about to make its appearance. And that is not good news for Matt. That Torkoal haunting Matt. After that week 7, he knows how strong it is under Trick Room. It's incredibly difficult to stop. There it is, gets the drought up as well, so he potentially has a sun boosted eruption at his disposal, and this could be quite a quick and done game 3 unless Matt has an answer in the back to be able to do something. Moves a pit, Jolty on there with his Dynamax. Quick draw comes out from the Slowbro, says Ultimate to the Max Mindstorm, gets the crit, Dragovich goes down, gets the crit where Matt got the crit last time. Eruption comes out from the Jolteon, there's a Max Phantasm into Slowbro, only going to take it down by half HP. That Eruption doing so much damage, does get the defense drop on both Torkoal and Slowbro, but I don't know if that's going to matter too much. And there you can see there's Sableye and Togekiss in the back for Matt there. So this could be difficult unless he can solve Trick Room out for 3 times. It's you know, how do you stop a mon like Torkoal when it's at full health? If you get some sort of damage off him against it, then just, you know, maybe Torkoal can be nullified. But Max Guard comes out from the Jolteon. There's the Eruption. The Togekiss takes it down at 10% HP. There's the Max Ooze. It's going to give that special attack up, and Togekiss is going to go down. Jolteon and Sableye with it all to do. Slowbro's Dynamax and Jolteon's Dynamax both does end, but I think that is going to be it. Trick Room with another 2 turns. Obviously, Jolteon chose to use his Max Guard there, so can't protect. And I don't really know what Sableye can really do here. Obviously, running a full status. Sableye in comes. There's the helping hand. I don't think it's really going to matter. There's the Eruption. Takes out the Jolteon. It's going to take the Sableye down with Sash. It's not going to matter. The Slowbro is going to get the kill. And that is our first Miami Heat, our first team into the winners final. Matt drops down to the losers bracket, and that is that. Lat, our first team in. Great games from Lat. Really enjoyed that one. Got the call completely wrong in that game 3, but it's in completely credit to Lat. He's such a good player. Really intense games. It's always fun playing against that guy. Anyway, we're not going to waste any time. We've still got a few games to get through. So, we've got another game to go. Let's take a quick look at our playoffs bracket once that is now done. There you go. Bulu Boys in that losers final, and we have Long Island Goomies versus Shadow Kings in losers round 3 to decide who plays Bulu Boys, to decide who plays Latvian in our grand final. So let's get right to it then. Shadow Kings versus Long Island Goomies. These guys both trading games during the main season. Dogsy getting the 2-0 over him the first time round. Silly getting the 2-0 right back at him. That Durant proving so strong in that match number 2. Dogsy looking to try and make that dream losers bracket run, and at the moment the dream is very much alive if he can get another win here over Silly. Is Silly going to choose to bring another meme squad though, or is he gonna bring a strong squad to try and make sure he gets through that losers final, to try and get through to grand finals? Money on the line here. Obviously the winner here makes it through to losers finals, guarantees them money, guarantees themselves 3rd place at the very least, and obviously 3rd pick in the draft. I don't even introduce the teams. You know the score. You know what's good here. Let's get right into it. Losers round 3. Shadow Kings versus Long Island Goomies. Replying to your message there. Here we go then. Dragapult and Morgrem leading the line for Dogsy and Silvally. That looks like Fire Silvally, as it's Shiny Silvally, and Durant leading the line for Silly. So no, the water airshrew is in the back, so if it's in that team of 4, obviously can, if he's able to stall it out, can you bring that airshrew later on and get the G-Max going? But we know how strong that Morgan is, we know how hard it's been for people to take out, you know, those thunder waves and can get those screens up. Very, very difficult to deal with, and with that Eviolite as well, it is such a tank. Dragon Bolt goes for its Dynamax. No Dynamax inside Silly. There's the Max Wyrmwind on the Savali, gets the attack drop on both Durant and Savali. There is the X-Scissor on Dragon Bolt, only doing about 40% HP, and the Dragon Claw on the Dragon Bolt, the Habanberry, nullifying that damage to the Dragon Bolt takes. So Dragon Bolt hangs around for another 10, only down to 81% HP. Morgrem then has the Reflect up. Max Wyrmwind has dropped the attack for both Durant and Sully. Morgrem stops out, in comes the Crocodile to drop the attack even further. There's the Max, guys, it into Savali. Savali goes down, so walls fire Savali. Savali goes down. There's the X-Scissor into the Crocodile. Crocodile just goes, even with the attack drop and the Reflect, Durant just easily dispatches of the Crocorock, and both trading out a Mon each here. As Silly waits. Fletchling now comes in. In comes the Morgrem again now. So Fletchling with full health, obviously with that Gale Wings ability, can get Tailwind up, which could be really useful to Durant. We know how much of a fun Pokemon Fletchling has been this season for Silly. You can't deny, as much as it is a quote-unquote meme pick, the Duran, exactly. So neither Pokemon have went for the Dynamax for Silly, so that would suggest to me that Urshifu is hanging around in the back, trying to stall out and wait for that Dragon Balls Dynamax to end. Dragon Ball has really put in the work so far here though. Really strong Pokemon. I will say that both coaches decided to do open teachers. There is the Protect from the Fletchling. Power comes out from the Durant, and there's the Max Flare, and Durant goes down despite the rain. Durant just goes down to that. Dragon Ball gets another kill under its belt, gets the sun up for itself as well, and now Fletchling comes in. And what is it going to be? Is it going to be Dracozol? Is it going to be the Decidueye? Or is it going to be that G-Max Urshifu? And it's the G-Max Rapid Strike Urshifu. So Silly waiting around to get that Urshifu in, to get his G-Max going, to try and bring it back. At the moment it is 2v3 for the side of Dogsy. Dogsy with full advantage here, obviously only losing that Crocorock. Reflect still up as well. Obviously Urshifu's ability on Unseen Fist means that Dogsy cannot go for a Protect. He can at least try and nullify the damage. Urshifu obviously goes for his G-Max. There it is. Tailwind comes out from the Fletchling. There's the Thunder Wave on the Urshifu. Thunderbolt comes out on the Fletchling. Fletchling doesn't quite go down. There's the Rapid Flow into the Morgrem. Morgrem hardly taking any damage for its troubles there. And Urshifu now slowed down. Even with that Tailwind up, I would think it's probably going to be at neutral speed now thanks to that. And Dragon Ball not quite able to take out that Fletchling. But Urshifu does have another turn, 2 turns of G-Max, depending what other moves Silly has put on the Urshifu here. If he's maybe got an Ice Punch or something, that's not going to be good news for Dogsy's Dragon Ball. There's a dual Wind Beat in the Urshifu. It procs its own weakness policy. There it is. Silly couldn't resist. There, the Thunderbolt from the Dragon Ball does take out the Fletchling. There is the Knuckle. The Max Knuckle into the Morgrem buffs his attack even more. Morgrem doesn't go down the Play Rough into the Urshifu, so it would have had its weakness policy propped anyway. Doesn't quite take the Urshifu out, but it is now 1v3. And Urshifu one more turn of G-Max, but not able to take anything out so far with its G-Max. So Silly not really getting to use it at full advantage. There's the Thunderbolt from the Dragon Ball. Urshifu down to 21% HP. There is the Rapid Flow in the Morgrem. Finally takes that thing out. There's 1v2. Urshifu's G-Max does end. And I think this is going to be game number 1 to Dogsy's Shadow Kings. Tito comes in, copies that Urshifu with the attack and special attack buff. So either way, I think this is game number 1. Shadow Kings taking the lead. Dogsy playing this really, really well. There's the Aqua Jet into the Dragon Bolt, not going to do much. The Thunderbolt takes it out. Game number 1 to Shadow Kings. Advantage number 1 to Shadow Kings. As we move on into game number 2. Remember, As with all games in the loser goes home. The winner will live to fight another day and will go on to face the Bulu Boys in the losers final for a chance to make it to grand finals, which will be running live on the show as soon as these games are done. Not long to go. I would think in the next half an hour, guys, we will be playing our grand final, so something to look forward to. Dogsy playing for the chance to win some money and, you know, to win that draft pick, and the same with Silly. Decidueye and Fletching though lead the line for Silly, and it's Morgan Dragapult once again for Dogsy, proving to be a really, really strong duo here. That Morgan, you know, considering he only picked it up before playoffs, has came pretty much every game and has been so strong. No one has had an answer for it so far, to be honest, so massive props to Dogsy for making this losers bracket run work. Excuse me. You would think Dragapult is going to go for its Dynamax here, but what has Decidueye got planned? You would think if the Decidueye goes for the Dynamax, that's going to mean there's no Water Rescue in the back. So one less thing for Dogsy to worry about. There it is, there's the Dynamax from the Dragapult. Protect comes out from the Fletching just to stop that fake off from damaging the Fletching so it can get the game is up. Max Flare into Decidueye just about hangs on and gets the Sword Stance up. That is unbelievable stuff that the Decidueye lives that. Just about hangs on with 4% HP. Honestly, how on earth did it survive that from a Dynamax Max Flare? Massive credit to Decidueye for hanging on there. There's got to be some defense EV investment for it to have hung on. It does get that Sword Stance up, which could be bad news for that Dragapult. Obviously, Fletching gets the Tailwind up. There's the Reflect from the Morgan. There's the Spirit Shackle. Dragapult doesn't quite go down. There's the Max Lightning at the Fletching. Does take it out, but not the Decidueye. Gets the Electric Terrain up, so obviously no sleeves can go off. It's going to mean Electric type attacks are boosted. And as said, Morgan hangs on. In comes the Durant. Tailwind now up for Silly, so that Durant is going to be moving mega fast. And that Decidueye obviously has that Spirit Shock, that means Dragapult can't swap out, but is more importantly doing super effective damage to Dragapult. There's the Thunder Wave on the Durant, slowing it down. There's the Spirit Shackle on the Dragapult, takes it out. Decidueye gets the first kill. Para does trigger on the Durant, so Durant doesn't get to take a turn, but is now 1 apiece for both teams, 3v3. The Dynamax done and dusted and out for Dogsy, and Silly still has his Dynamax available to him. Finds another message there, just setting up things for grand finals there. So in comes the Slurp up then. Thunderwave comes out from the Decidueye. The Iron Head, the Slurp up goes straight out. There's the Leaf Blade onto the Morgram. Morgram hangs on with just under half HP, but as now Ditto comes in, copies that Decidueye with a 2x attack. One more turn of Tailwind to go as well. Morgram still kicking around. Durant. Honestly, that Slurpuff just didn't stand a chance there. So this could be very good for Dogsy though. I said he's copied that Decidueye now, got that 2x attack. It doesn't copy the Tailwind buff. That Tailwind buff only affects the opposite side still, but obviously does have that 2x attack buff. So, you know, unfortunately that Decidueye is gonna not move first, the copied Decidueye, but if there is a Protect on there, maybe Dogsy can keep around for once the Tailwind is gone. Morgram still has the Reflect up as well as we move on to turn number 5. But this probably won't be one of the quickest Shadow Kings games we've seen all season, to be honest. Good to see a god-strong team from Silly coming out as well. Still some interesting quote-unquote memey things there, but there is the Durant swaps out, in comes the Dracozolt. The Leaf Blade into the Dracozolt, not going to quite do as much as Spirit Shackle into the Decidueye, takes it out, Ditto goes down, Morgan with the alt-do. Player off does take out the Decidueye, but is now Drakazol and Durant versus Morgan. This is going to be game number 2, I would have thought, to Silly. Silly not even used his Dynamax yet at this point, which is absolutely crazy. You know, for it to have gone this, to basically, you know, beaten out Dogsy's Dynamax and be winning the game comfortably, and have not used your Dynamax is something in this Sword and Shield era. So massive props to Silly. He's kept in this. There is the Dynamax off from Drakazol. Max Wellman is immune to from Morgan. Player off into the Drakazol. Drakazol doesn't really care about that. There's the Iron Head into Morgan, and he ties it up as 1 apiece as you move on to game 3. This is it then, the deciding game. Winner moves on to losers final. Loser goes home. Here we go. Dragon Ball, Morgan lead the line again for Dogsy. Fletchling comes out with Decidueye once again, so Silly keeping that winning formula going. If that Decidueye can live an attack again from the Dragon Ball, whether it was a roll or not, we don't know, but if it can live an attack and get that sword stance going up, we know just how much work that Decidueye did with 4% HP. Does Dogsy maybe elect to go probably Thunder Wave for the Morgan again? There's the fake out though, the Fletchling is not going to get the Tailwind. There's the Flamethrower on the Decidueye. Decidueye hangs on. There is the sword stance, so no Dynamax 10-1. Flinch obviously affecting the Fletchling, and now Gale Wings won't proc. Obviously Gale Wings only works at full health, so Fletchling now can't get the Tailwind up first as it normally would. So he's got some thinking to do here. Does he still try and get the Tailwind off and try and protect the Decidueye, or does he maybe swap it out for something else to try and, you know, maybe Dynamax another Mon or get something else going? Obviously Durant is really strong against that Morgan, but is aware that the Dragon Ball has the Max Flare, and even under the rain, the Max Flare able to OHKO the Durant, which was sensational. Dragon Ball swaps out though, in goes the Krokorok to drop the attack of the Decidueye and the Fletchling. The Decidueye does protect. There's the Thunder Wave, gets protected from the Decidueye, and the Tailwind does end up going up in the end. So Silly does get speed control up, which could be really bad here for Dogsy. This could end up rolling over just like the last game. Decidueye hanging on with 33% HP, has had that attack dropped thanks to the Krokorok's Intimidate, but that's still, you know, it's an attack of Decidueye. It's going to be still looking really, really strong. Does maybe Dogsy try and get the Intim rotation out just to try and slow that Decidueye down? With a non-Durant in the back as well, and the Water Urshifu. Potentially the Drakazol as well. Rotating, you know, attack drops can end up being really, really, really useful in this situation. We move on into turn number 3. There it is, the swap out from the Fletchling. Morgan swaps out COVID-19. The Ditto copies the Drakazol. Protect comes out from the Krokorok. Leaf Blade doesn't go off. Krokorok gets protected. And now Dogsy has a Drakazol in his lineup. Using that Ditto to great effect once again. Obviously that Drakazol typically running the Hustle ability, which does drop its accuracy but buffs its attack. So it depends what item that he's got on the Ditto, depending on what it's going to do here. But is there any kind of flying attacks on the Drakazol? Could be bad news to destroy Morgan. Swaps back in. There's the D-Master Drakazol, so no Water Urshifu in the back for Silly. Max Wormwind into the Ditto, and it does 80% damage through the Protect. That is sensational. Leaf Blade into the Morgan. Morgan goes down below half HP as well. And we've still got all 4 Pokemon on the field, but this is looking very, very strong for Silly. He's got the Dynamax up. He's got the 1.5 times attack boost to Decidueye. Obviously, Dogsy still does have the Dragon Ball kicking around in the back. Data swaps out in because the Krokorok to drop that attack. Reflect goes up. There's the max airstream in the Morgan. Morgan hangs up, but the Drakazol does get the speed buff now that Tailwind's ending. Spirit Shackle onto the Krokorok is going to mean he can't rotate out the Krokorok now, so that's a great play from Silly, stopping from that Intim rotation. Oh, sorry. I probably called it the wrong ability there, I do apologise. recently as well, Silly has been running Light Orb Dracozolt as well, just to give it that little bit extra attack. Morgrem now on the field. Protect comes out from the Krokorok. The Thunder Wave misses the Decidueye, though that could be really big. The Max Whirlwind comes out. Krokorok manages to live through that, does drop the attack of both Morgrem and Krokorok. There is the Leaf Blade into Morgrem, so Morgrem goes down. It is now a 4v3 in favour of Silly. In comes the Dragon Ball now. Dracozolt's Dynamax does end. Is that Dracozolt going to be fast enough though to outspeed the Dragon Ball with its 1.5 times speed buff? Obviously, Fletchling is still kicking around. If you can maybe get it in to get a tailwind up, potentially can get the speed control again, but this could go either way at this point, just both slowly stalling each other out. Dogsy's being able to patiently wait, just like Silly did in the first game, patiently wait to use his Dynamax. So in comes the Dragon Ball. Dragon Ball goes for its Dynamax. There it is, the Max Whirlwind into Decidueye does take it out, drops that Dracozolt attack. Outrage hits into the Krokorok and takes it out, so it is now a 3v2, but Dracozolt is now locked into that and is taking a bit of damage for its troubles. Fletcher now swaps in. There you go. The Ditto copies the Dracozolt again. That Dracozolt that has been copied does have that attack drop, but is speedy. It's gonna well outspeed the Fletchling. And Dragon Ball, as we saw there, is going to move for the Dracozolt, so this is entirely advantage Dogsy. He could easily take out the Dracozolt here with a Max Wormwind, and I think that could be potentially curtains for Silly's playoffs run. And Dogsy will live to fight another day. Turn number 8. Fletching swaps out, in comes Durant. There is the Max Lightning on the Durant. Durant just about hangs on from that. Gets gets the Electric Train of Outrage, hits into the Dragon Ball. Habanberry does proc. The Confuse comes out from the Dracozolt as well, thanks to the Outrage. Outrage from the Ditto takes out the Durant. In comes Fletchling. It is 2v2. Dragon Ball still with its one more turn of Dynamax. Dracozolt sat there confused, and as we said, is going to be moving after that Ditto, the Dracozolt that's being copied. Could easily take out the Fletchling here. This could be it. This could be game number 3 to Dogsy. Let's see what happens. I don't see a way Silly holds on here, but you never know with this guy. One Max Wormwind, I think, is going to do that. Fletchling is not going to win a game on its own. It's all up to that Dracozolt, and then it goes down. That's me. The Outrage hits in the Fletchling. Fletchling goes down thanks to a crit hit. That is going to be a Confusion. Hits that Ditto. The Max Wormwind at the Dracozolt. That is game number 3. Dogsy takes the win. Takes the 2-1 victory over Long Island Goomies. Dogsy makes it through to the losers final. Dogsy with the absolute dream losers bracket run, all the way from losers round 1 through our losers final, knocking out winners bracket defeaters along the way. He's beaten Dave. He's beaten Aaron. He's now taken Silly, and we move on to losers final. Let's take a look at what that means in the bracket. There you go then. Shadow Kings versus Bulu Boys for a chance to play in our grand final. This is the one. Obviously, both teams here have guaranteed themselves at least top 3 and a money prize. Here we go then. Obviously, Bulu Boys with a 2-0 record over Dogsy during the regular season, getting a 2-1 and a 2-0 victory respectively. The Porygon 2 proving very, very strong. Last time these two teams played, and the Dracovish as well. Hippodon as well, coming in to do a bit of work. But we know how good that Venusaur is here. We've just witnessed how strong that Dragon Ball is with the Morgrem, and if Matt doesn't have an answer for that Dragon Ball could be really, really strong. Obviously, there is a potential for beat up here. Whether Matt has an answer for that beat up play or not, we don't know. I would think the Dragon Ball is still going to be faster than the Dracovish with the Choice Scarf, so still potentially gets that off. Or potentially the Galarian Weezing comes in with its neutralizing gas, stops any of those terrifying abilities from working on the Bulu Boys team. Either way, it's going to be a great game. This is it to decide the winner of Losers Final, to decide who goes on to play Miami Heat in the Grand Finals. Let's get right onto it. Bulu Boys versus Shadow Kings. And leading the line is Togekiss and the Dracovish for Matt Star's Bulu Boys. Dragon Ball and Morgan once again for Dogsy, proving so good against Silly's Long Island Goomies. So Dogsy sticking with his gun, sticking with the winning formula. As I said, we know just how strong that duo has been the Morgan Dragapult. You know, Morgan just able to just thunder wave everything, and Dragapult just able to just destroy everything in its wake. Togekiss, you know, looking very strong here. Depends which Togekiss. Maybe the Togekiss goes for a follow me potentially here. Try and let Dracovish do its work. Depends which Togekiss is coming. Obviously against Latvian Miami Heat, it was a special attacking Togekiss, but might have elected to bring something different this time. Who knows? You know, if that Dracovish is running a Dragon move, and if it does happen to be spec'd faster than the Dragapult, potentially Dracovish can take out that Dragapult. Here we go then. Turn number 1. In our final game for Grand Finals. And Dracovish swaps out. In comes Goliathspod. Dragapult goes for its Dynamax. Togekiss goes for its Dynamax. Morgan fake outs. It's not going to really matter to the Goliathspod. Max Airstream hits into the Togekiss. Only doing about 20% damage just to get that speed buff. Max Starfall is going to take out the Morgan though, and that is first blood to the Bulu Boys. Morgan goes down. That big Prankstamon taken out. Unable to get anything going there. I think that's the first time we've really seen Morgan sort of nullified. So 4v3, Crocodile comes in to drop the attack there of Togekiss and Goliathspod. Togekiss primed in a pretty good spot here. You know, it has type advantage over both Crocodile and Dragapult. If Goliathspod can maybe get something going, maybe like a Sucker Punch or something, or a First Impression on the Crocodile, it's maybe in a good spot here. So that Dragapult ran the Haban Berry last time, which halves Dragon attacks. Is it running the same berry this time, or is it running a different item? There's a Sucker Punch in the Dragapult, but it procs the weakness balls here in the Dragapult. Dragapult now the 2 times attack and special attack. Max Phantasm versus Togekiss. Togekiss doesn't go down. It hangs on, and there's the Max Starfall in the Dragapult. Dragapult now goes down. The Dynamax ends. Snarl hits both Goliathspod and Togekiss. It is now a 4v2. Crocorock. And what has Dogsy got in the back? Cobalion comes out in the end. 4v2. Togekiss with the special attack, defense, and attack drop, and the same on the side of Goliathspod thanks to that snarl from the Crocorock. Crocorock's not going to enjoy taking another Starfall from Togekiss, but if Cobalion can move first, maybe with an Iron Head, and take out the Togekiss, that's at least one big threat gone on the side of Bulu Boys for Dogsy to start chipping away. But we are only into 10. Is it 10 number 3, 10 number 4? This is 10 number 3, isn't it? We're very early on in this game, and it is already 4v2. But there's still another game to go. There's still plenty of this game to go. Dogsy can still bring it back. Sucker Punch into the Cobalion. That's going to proc the Justified. Big mistake there from Bulu Boys. Iron Head into the Goliathspod though. Max Starfall hits the Crocorock. Crocorock goes down, and now Cobalion with it all to do. Togekiss' Dynamax does end. Oh boy, that was maybe a big mistake from Matt. That Cobalion looking really strong with that 1.5 times attack. There's the Iron Head in the Togekiss. Togekiss does go down as P2 swaps in for the Goliathspod. In comes the Dracovish. I would think this is going to be game number 1. I doubt Cobalion's going to live Fisher's Rend. And there it is. Cobalion goes down to Fisher's Rend. Game number 1 to Bulu Boys. First blood to Bulu Boys. But there's still all to play for. It can still turn out either way. Shadow King's still in with it. Different lineup this time for Bulu Boys. Center Scorch and Togekiss this time. Obviously now Matt is locked into Dynamax, G-Maxing that Center Scorch. Morgram and Dragapult once again leading the line for Dogsy. Going with the old faithful. Here we go then. Morgan potentially, is it going to go for the fake out? Does he maybe elect to get screens set up just to try and nullify some of those attacks? Or is there a Thunder Wave kicking about to try and play a spoiler for the Center Scorch or the Togekiss? Dogsy taking his time to decide what he wants to do. Dragon Ball goes for his Dynamax. Centre Scorch goes for its G-Max. There it is. Reflect goes up from the Morgan. Max Phantasm hits into the Centre Scorch. Does about half damage. Does the stat drop. Gets blocked by White Smoke. Togekiss does lose a bit of defense. And there is the Dazzling Gleam. Dragon Ball. Weakness Policy does get procced. Morgan goes down to 32. And the Max Darkness not quite doing enough to that Dragon Ball. So that Dragon Ball now not only faster than everything on the field, but does have that 2 times attack boost as well. And oh man, that's going to be very, very hard to stop. You know, if that Dragon Ball is running a max airstream, which we saw in that first game, so we know it is. Centre Scorch is not going to enjoy taking a flying move. You know, even if it was Sash Centre Scorch, it wouldn't matter now that taking a hit there. Morgan does get that special defense drop though, as we saw, thanks to that Max Darkness. So Dogsy aware now that there is 2 moves on that side that can really hurt him. Max Guard comes out from the Dragon Ball. Max Guard comes out in the Centre Scorch. There's a Thunder Wave, but it misses the Togekiss. There's a Dazzling Gleam. Dragon Ball protected, but Morgan does go down for the Dazzling Gleam. It's now 4v3. Thunder Wave, very, very unlucky. In comes the Krokorok. Gets the Intip, but the White Smoke blocks that stat drop. Gets the attack drop on Togekiss, but that's not going to matter too much to Togekiss. Here we go then. Dragon Ball has got to pick the target wisely. It's got to take out one of them, but he knows that there's a Dazzling Gleam waiting for him from Togekiss, or there's a Max Darkness waiting for him from Centre Scorch. He's got to pick to take out one. Which does he go for? See that Krokorok is in range of a Dazzling Gleam as well. We know how weak Krokorok is to a fairy attack. So Dogsy maybe stands to lose both mons here if he picks the Centre Scorch. Having to pick carefully what target he picks. It's so intense. It's so intense. It could go either way. If Dragon Ball picks the right target and is able to live an attack, potentially Dragon Ball can just run house here. But if not, it could be bad news for Dogsy and takes him down to 2 mons. It's still not over, but Matt, with all 4 mons still on the field, is in a good position. Obviously with that game 1 advantage as well. Krokorok withdraws. In comes Cobalion. There's the Max Airstream in the Togekiss. Togekiss goes down to that thanks to the Policy proc. Max Darkness in the Dragon Ball. Dragon Ball goes down. Obviously does get the speed buff for Cobalion, which could be quite useful in this late game. But it's Cobalion and Krokorok now with it all to do versus Centre Scorch. And in comes Dracovish. Intim blocked by that White Smoke, but does get the attack drop on the Dracovish, which could turn out to be very, very, very useful for Dogsy here. Try and maybe stop that Dracovish from running house. We know how strong Fisher's Rend is against that Cobalion. We know how strong it would be against Krokorok as well. Dogsy taking his time to decide what he wants to do. This could decide this game. Both Cobalion and Krokorok with full HP. Cobalion, super strong one of the soldiers. There's Iron Head into Dracovish trying to get the flinch. Fisher's Rend hits into Krokorok, but the berry, Paso Berry, keeps Krokorok hanging around, and thanks to that Reflect. Flare Blitz into Cobalion. Lash out into Centre Scorch, so Centre Scorch hangs on. Cobalion hangs on through that Flare Blitz as well, so all 4 mons still on the field, live to fight another day. If Dogsy can maybe take care of that Centre Scorch, he can maybe get something going here in this late game. But that Krokorok, what can it do? Once that Reflect goes down, it is wide open to an attack. against the Cabalian. Going to go for the obvious choice, Center Scorch, as he maybe going to try and get the Iron Head again on the Dracovish, trying to get that flinch. Slow the slow Bulu Boys down. There's a close combat, and the Dracovish not going to quite do enough. Does drop the Cabalian's defense special def. There's the vicious rend of the Crocodile chasing down Cabalian with the ult to do the power whip, and the Cabalian taking down to 15%. This is going to be it. This is going to be game. Cabalian 1v2, Center Scorch and Dracovish versus Cabalian. Cabalian is obviously going to move first here, but who does he go for? If he goes for the Center Scorch, he knows there's a vicious rend waiting for him. If he goes for the Dracovish, there's a flare that's waiting for him. This is going to be game number 2. We're going to see a repeat of the winners final. Bulu Boys versus Miami Heat. The Iron Head and the Dracovish does get the flinch this time, but it's not going to matter because there's the Flare Blitz. The 2-0 Bulu Boys make it through to the grand finals. There. What a loser's final game. Massive GG's to Dogsy. Again, I always enjoy playing against that dude. Really good guy, really nice guy. And Can we just get some props in chat, please, for Dogsy's sensational losers bracket run? Who, like, I know he said in pre-season he was going to make the losers bracket run, but to see it actually happen, unbelievable scenes. Okay, so we've got our grand final next. So I'm going to hand you guys over to our new commentary team of Aaron and Big Dog Dave, who are going to talk you through the teams, and then they're going to commentate over this game. Dave, Aaron, can you hear me?
Hello there.
Hello. So I'm going to let you talk through the teams. I've got to quickly nip to the toilet. Pre-game pee. And we'll get right into it, okay?
Yeah, of course.
Sweet, okay.
No worries.
The screen is on there. I'll let you get to it.
Okay. Dave?
Yeah, by me. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. The day we've all been waiting for. The BBL Grand Final rolls around. Myself and Aaron here to take you through it. How are you, Aaron?
I'm all good. I'm excited to watch this game, actually.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, because it's a 2-1 to Latvian at the moment, so I'm pretty sure that Matt's going to want to settle the score between the two.
Yeah. Lat is 2-1 over the course of the season. Matthew finished number 1. Lat finished number 2. It really is a clash of the Titans when it comes to this.
It really is, yeah.
Obviously.
It really is. So if we start off with Matt's team, so Matt, of course, we all know his team now. He's picked up the Toga Kiss as a late trade, which I quite like, actually. I quite like the option of having that follow me, but he has been using it as a offensive one.
Yeah, it's been really well in the playoffs as well.
It has, yeah, and I actually quite like it against the Lats team, though. Like, when you look at Lats team, like, Toga Kiss is super weak against lightning, but Latvian doesn't have an electric type. And it's also weak against a rock type, which, again, Latvian actually doesn't have. So Toga Kiss actually could be really good here, like really good.
If he brings it, of course.
Yeah, that is true, if he brings it.
The frequency that he's been bringing at the playoffs, I'll be
Yeah. I just think it's a great choice to have, like, as an option, you know. Because it gets Airstream, it gets Heat Wave. It's got quite a big pull, like, moveset. And then I think Dracovish has to come for Matt because of the amount of water weaknesses that Latvian has. Yeah, I think he's got to bring it. I think for Matt, like, the biggest concern, like I watched in his games, Cinderace really caused him some problems because of the changing of the types. But and I think Matt just has to be careful. Yeah, it's not a surprise. It's such a good mon, you know. And I think Matt just has to be wary of, like, if Cinderace does come, which type will it go into, you know?
It's, like you said, it caused him real bad issues in the winners bracket final.
It did, yeah. It was their second game, was it?
You would think Lat is gonna hang his hat on it to bring it home for the
definitely
final.
Yeah, and I think Latvian, like, he's got to be wary of the Dracovish Dracovic is super strong against him. But Latvian has some good AoE damage, like Blastoise with Water Spout, Torkoal with Eruption, Rock Slide from, I don't know, like Mudsdale or something like this, you know. He's got some really good AoE damage. So, but Latvian's got a strong team. He knows how to use it as well. Purloin with Prankster ability is always an issue.
And Aaron, we've not even mentioned one of the kill leaders for the full season. G-Max Centre Scotch.
Yeah.
Is it even going to come?
I don't know, because
It would be a shame if it didn't, right?
I know, that's true. It would be a shame. But when I look at Latvian's team, I'm thinking, whoa, the Blastoise, you know.
Not today.
Slowbro. It's like very weak against a lot of Latvian's mons, and you're like, or are you going to bring it? I don't know. I mean, he could, just for the sake of, you know, having it, because it's been such a good Pokemon for him. I actually really like P2 here as well. Just as a maybe stall, like to stall Latvian's Dynamax. It can take, yeah, or the Trick Room. Good call, yeah.
If he
like
brings the Slowbro Purloin again.
Yeah. If you think he's going to go for that, maybe go for Trick Room yourself just to reverse it, you know.
Who knows?
There's a lot of options for both of them actually. I don't know if they'll chop and change or if they'll go very similar to what they've been going with, but it's going to be a very close one once again.
And that's the reason they're in the final, right? They're the two best players and they've got the two best teams.
Yep, that is very, very true. Very true.
Even the ones that aren't getting brought.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen Galisopod absolutely wreck house.
Yeah.
Pincers an absolute truck.
Yeah.
Kangaskhan. I don't remember the last time.
I really love Kangaskhan.
But it absolutely bodied me in one of the matches.
Yeah. And I think that's actually one thing about Lat's team as well that is like super cool. Like he's got a lot of fake out options, like Kangaskhan, Blastoise, and I think Leopard can fake out as well. I think.
Oh, it's Leopard, isn't it? Not Purloin. That's my bad. Yeah.
Yeah, so he's got some fake out options, you know.
I mean, we said this. It's like this as long ago as it seems now. At the point in which we drafted, we said everyone looked at Latvian's team and went, "Oh no."
Yeah.
Oh no.
It's literally like, oh god, okay.
Since then, he's had 2 chances to tweak it just a little bit.
Yeah, he's tweaked it really well, as like in my opinion. Like when I played against Lat, he brought in the Duraludon significantly for my team, and it just wrecked me. Like I couldn't get past it. So he's very clever on how he makes his teams. I think the one thing that Matt has to be like super careful of is Torkoal. Torkoal can destroy you if it's in Trick Room. If you don't get enough damage on it, Eruption will just keep on hitting you hard.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Aaron, we're getting the call. It's time.
It's time. Let's do this then. Okay.
Over to the final. Matt's team.
So,
no surprises there.
Yeah. So Matt's team, he's got the Centre Scorch, which did come. The Porygon 2 and the Togekiss did come as well. Dracovic, which again is no surprise. Sableye, and then the Jolteon. I think this is probably his best team to go up against Lat. On the side of Latvian, we've got the Machamp, Slowbro, Leopard, Kangaskhan. The Drifblim actually came, which is quite a shock actually. And then Duraludon as well.
Just before we get into this, what I would like to say is the links in the chat, Aaron, if you want to jump in.
Oh, lovely jubbly.
So you're not delayed by the stream.
That's very true.
All season.
Yeah.
To play against everybody here.
Very much so. Yeah, very much so.
I hope you all enjoy the final.
Yeah.
Over to you, gentlemen.
Everyone, enjoy.
Right. Okay.
So here we go.
Yeah, so Drifblim is a little bit of a surprise. I wasn't really expecting him to bring that because of the Jolteon, you know. But there it is.
Yeah, I'm a little bit surprised, to be honest.
Yeah, because sometimes he does the old weakness policy, you know, which actually I forgot Leopard can sucker punch, so he could go for it, you know.
effectively all of the bonds we just talked about in Latvia's team, he hasn't
Yeah.
brought. So,
No, exactly.
which I guess is
So-
just testament to how good his team actually is.
Yeah, so we've got the Fish and the Jolteon on that side, and then Driftblim and Kangaskhan on the other side.
Yeah, this
So-
Triggerish is an absolute monster as well when it gets going.
Yeah, I think Matt's in a good spot. Jolteon's putting a lot of pressure on that Driftblim. And then Kangaskhan is putting pressure on the Jolteon. Good switch from Matt there.
He's a P2.
Oh, and he goes straight away for the Dynamax. Fake out
Matt
into the
Blank
Porygon
is gonna
2.
come surely.
Yeah,
the Driftblim, there
that
it
was...
goes.
Oh, it's got a sash. Okay. And it gets a tailwind up. So Latvian's going for fast instead of slow in this case. Good turn. It was a good turn for both, I think, actually. Latvian's got speed, but Matt has taken that Drifblim down to the sash.
Yeah, that's the Drifblim effectively out of the game. Over the Max comes on a Kangaskhan. Max guard trying to preserve it.
Oh,
Misses
very
the
nice.
T-wave.
Oh,
Now comes the Trick Room.
wow. Okay, very smart on Matt's end. Very smart.
I see your tailwind and I reverse you.
Yeah, very smart indeed from Matt.
Great play.
A bit unfortunate that the Thunder Wave didn't hit, but I don't know, that you got a 50-50 chance there of getting the Trick Room up afterwards anyway, if it does hit.
Yeah, that's the way the cookie crumbles, especially on the showdown, right?
Yeah.
You
I'm just
expect-
wondering if the Jolteon has a Sugar Berry, maybe. That would be a really good item to have on the Jolteon, because it didn't have an air balloon, so... Be interesting to see what item Jolteon has.
Yeah, how he's going to live through this Max Quake and this Kangaskhan.
Yeah.
About it.
Okay, so...
What do you get for
Oh,
lighting
wow.
off?
Okay, it doesn't have the Sugar Berry. Matt gets Latvian gets a special defense boost, which is always good. That was a good turn on Matt's end. He got rid of
It surprisingly
Drifblim.
tank. I must admit, I thought it would do a hell of a lot more damage than it did.
Yeah, same. So Machamp actually comes in here, which isn't a bad choice from Lat, because if he doesn't protect, the Tailwind finishes, and then he'll be probably the slowest thing on the... Well, besides Porygon 2.
With the
Will
room
be
service
this-
as well.
Oh, actually, yeah, he does have the room service, so he probably will be slower than that Porygon 2 afterwards. So this could turn back the other way.
Expecting a big hit into this P2 here.
Nice
That
protect.
comes out from the Jolteon.
Oh, okay.
Max
Knuckle.
covering both their attacks though.
Yeah, very smart from that. Very smart. Oh, wow. Okay, yeah. So I thought Matt was going to go for this, so he actually reversed it back so that he can get the speed control.
He still has speed control. Fantastic turn
Yeah.
from Matt, to be honest.
Yeah, very, very clever. Very clever. Kangaskhan is quite fast though, so I don't know who's going to be faster, either the Kangaskhan or...
He might have Super Punch, right?
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
very
probably-
true. He might have
probably end
Sucker
as this
Punch.
Jolteon.
Yeah.
Either way.
Porygon 2 is putting in the work here, I've got to say. Like,
Honestly, it's been so good all season for him. I was really
Yeah.
surprised by it.
yeah, it's just been controlling everything for Matt. Like, he hasn't really been doing anything other than just control. That's all it's been doing.
Am I right in thinking this might be the first time that Machamp has came?
Yeah, actually, I think it is. Oh, there's the Paralyze on the Duraludon.
A big D.
Oh, okay.
Good night, Porygon. There's your
Such a
control.
massive... I forgot, what's the accuracy on Dynamic Punch? Is it 70?
It might be no guard.
Yeah, I
Machamp,
think-
though, right?
I think it's 70%. It's such a huge risk, but a huge reward, as you just saw. It took out Porygon 2 in one hit. Not many Pokemon can do that. Mac brings in the Duraludon, the Dracovish here, though, so he's going to be fast. Most definitely faster than both of these.
Yeah, and both
then-
Max is burned as well. He lives the.
Ooh, he actually lived. Oh, he gets the Paralyze. Oh. Ooh. Oh, and he gets... Oh, yeah, it's always 100%, isn't it? Yeah.
100%, yeah.
Yeah. So this is really interesting. I really thought Duraludon would go down there, but it hung on. This is getting... Oh,
This
okay,
is
so
going great
Confusion
to
doesn't hit.
Confusion.
Oh, wow.
Double
Okay, this
down.
looks like game one. Yeah. So very, very well played on both turns here.
Well,
Latvian
Kangaskhan's
did
got
some
it all
smart
to do.
switches. Dynamic Punch was just so good here for Latvian. Kangaskhan, yeah. I suppose here in this case, Kangaskhan can just go for a fake out, maybe into Jolteon. Maybe expect Fish to switch out. Yeah.
There's the fake
Actually
out.
took it out. Wow. Oh,
Oh
confusion
my goodness,
ended.
He risked the confusion as well.
Yeah. Very
Wow,
well
fair
played.
play.
Wow. Very well
Easy
played on
game
Matt's
one
end.
goes to Matt Star and the Bulu
Phew.
Boys.
Yeah, that was actually quite quick. It went quite quick. But hats off to Matt for getting like Porygon 2 controlling the match basically.
Let's load up game 2.
Wow. Yeah, that was such an exciting game 1. Really exciting. Yeah, Matt's Porygon 2.
Aaron? What does he do different this time?
I think Lat has to change. I think Drift Blim is just too weak against the Jolteon. And I think actually Machamp put in some really good work. I know it might sound crazy, but maybe even leading with Machamp. Because it can take...
With the Drift Blim, right, is that he just nullified everything it wanted to do straight away.
Yeah.
With the P2.
Yeah. Truly did, yeah. So Latvian does change things up, and he's going with Slowbro at Leopard. And then Matt sticks to the Dracovish and Jolteon lead.
But
no, was that the lead before? It was the lead before, yeah.
Max Guard Trick Room? Is that what we're seeing from Latvian?
I think I'm seeing that. Because, I mean, Matt can switch in maybe Porygon 2 here. But I can see a Max Guard Trick Room, yeah. Copycat, should I say. But then Matt can, I suppose, I don't know. I suppose Matt can just double up into Leopard and get rid of it.
There so there goes the D-Max.
Oh no, there's a Protect. Very clever from Latvian.
Vicious Rend.
Oh wow, okay. So Matt...
There's the boost.
Yeah, so Matt tried to reverse the Trick Room that he thought was going to come.
We're seeing mind games in game 2.
Yeah, definite mind games. And Latvian actually did that really well. He didn't go for the Max Guard copycat. So very well played from Latvian, I've got to say. He's actually got a little bit of the upper hand. Yeah, he might be kicking. Yeah, I think Matt would be kicking himself in this point at this stage. Because Latvian's got a little bit of the upper hand at the moment.
Yeah, that Slowbro D-Maxed with the boost. It's going to take some stopping now.
Yeah.
D-Max comes
commits to that. Okay. So spreading that damage, doing quite a lot of damage. Oh,
I don't think it would have mattered.
Oh, that is huge. I don't know if that would have mattered. I mean, it would be interesting to find out, but I don't know. That was it is, it is only effective, so it could have mattered. It could have. But yeah, so Togekiss comes out. This is turning around quite quickly for Latvian.
You're not seeing much from the Duraludon so far.
No, Duraludon. It's actually just taking the damage, and Duraludon actually can do that. It can take some hits. However, Matt still does have speed control. Like he's got, should I say, like the faster Pokemon. So Duraludon goes down here. Okay.
Protect.
Okay. Keep bringing it. Bringing it to about 65%. Not bad. It's a little bit of chip damage. I'm just interested to see. Yeah, I'm just interested to see who. Okay, he's bringing back Leopard. He can't actually do any. This is the problem with, I thought, he had in the first game in the playoffs. He brought the Psychic Terrain up when he has a Prankster Mon, which actually makes it. Himself. Yeah, it actually nullifies yourself. So
you just expect the Dracovish is just going to take out the Slowbro, surely now.
Oh there it is. Yeah. This actually might turn around for Matt. This might turn around despite his Dynamax going down so quickly. Yeah. Here's Machamp. So Latvian's in a difficult position.
And there goes Machamp. As quickly as it came, it's gone.
And that,
down.
there's the crit.
2-0.
Oh my
That
god,
VGC.
Matt brought that. Yeah, wow.
Unbelievable.
The champion.
We have
champion. Yeah.
We have a message from Matt that says, because he's from the losers bracket,
I have to play him again.
it's a second best of 3.
It is. Yeah. So it is 2. So this is really interesting. Really interesting. I forgot about
can
that.
We just get a rule check from Matthew? Do the teams have to be the same? Well, we'll try and break down what happened there.
Yeah,
Well,
teams are going to be the same.
Same.
Yeah. So those are the rules. Yeah. So yeah, it's considering that the teams have to be the same. It's going to be difficult, very difficult for Latvian.
He needs to put his thinking cap on.
Yeah.
Because things aren't going well for him.
No, they're not. Even as you saw, like Matt had his Dynamax over in a split second, and he still managed to spin it around. So that just tells you how good, how strong his team actually is against Latvian's team.
Yeah, coming into it as well. From day one in the season, we all said Latvian's team's going to be the thing that takes him to the final, and it has been.
Yep.
But it's not doing a great deal in the final so far.
No, it's not. They're just discussing. Latvian's asking if he can change his team around, which the rules state you can't. You got to keep the same team.
Yeah.
So,
which is reading that, Aaron.
No, he really won't. He's going to be like, oh no, that's actually not good.
What do I do from here?
I mean, Latvian does have the. He's got the opportunity to beat Matt, most definitely. He's got the team there. It's just knowing exactly what Matt's going to do. You know, he's got to get the right lead as well, actually.
Yeah, which is strange, right? Because game 2 there, he started out really, really well on the front foot, but Matt just brought it back. It just, like you said, his D-Max going down, it just didn't seem to matter.
Yeah. It really did look quite bad for Matt at one point. Like from actually turn 1 was very clever from.
We'll have a bit of props as well for Matt, because turn 1 he was down with his back against the wall. Really, he tried the copycat strat and it didn't come off. Read him like a book, effectively.
Yeah, really did.
From then on, near perfect gameplay, really.
Yeah. Okay, we haven't got the link, have we?
We haven't got the link.
No, and they're playing the game. Oh, Matt's doing it now.
There we go.
Yeah, cheers, Matty.
We'll try and catch you up, don't worry.
Yeah.
We've got a live pad slow bro lead into Dracovish, Centre Scotch. The big guns.
So what do you make of this lead?
Yeah, well, it doesn't have the potential to copy that again, which makes me feel like Lat is going to go for a copycat trick room strat.
Yeah.
But with 2 heavy hitters on the other side of the field, I would not want to stare them 2 down.
No, I really wouldn't. And Matt actually commits to the Dynamax despite being like super weak against Slowbro. And there's the trick room, like you said. Sentiferno.
But Lipad's done its job.
Yeah, Lipad has done its job, and
that did nothing.
Oh, that was the Sentiferno damage.
Yep, you know what? Thank you for correcting me, Aaron. That's why there's 2 of us here.
At first, I was like, why did that do so little? Oh, yeah. So Machamp comes in here, and this is where Machamp can actually thrive. He can get off some really big hits and hit incredibly hard.
Under trick room as well. This Machamp's going first, and it's going to take some games.
Oh, so there's a Max Mindstorm into the.
That's
my word!
Damage.
That almost picked up a KO. Such big damage from Machamp there.
You would expect the double down here.
Yeah, most definitely. Yeah, this is basically now. This is where Latvian needs to be. He needs to be in the trick room, you know.
Absolutely, and most importantly, he needs to make this turn count.
Yeah, he really does. I can feel that this turn is actually really significant in the game.
But much like last game, you would expect Matt to be on the lesser favourite in this game. shall we say.
Yeah, most definitely you would. Like in the last game, you would have thought, okay, Matt's actually really in big trouble, but then he turned it around within, I think it was one turn. He completely turned it.
It all depends on who's in the fourth slot.
Yeah, it really does.
He needs the
Yeah.
P2 here, right?
I think he does. I think P2 needs to be in the back.
But does it matter with Machamp on the other side? Hitting stone, missing stone edges.
Machamp actually goes down, which is
protecting it.
huge.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's big. That's big.
Yeah, that is really big for Matt because then he can actually get P2 in quite, spot free.
In comes to Duraludon.
Yeah, so Duraludon comes in. It's not a bad choice actually on Lats. I would actually gone with Duraludon as well, because Duraludon is quite good against P2. It kind of like stalls it, Oh, there's a double KO for Latvian.
Move. It doesn't need it.
Yeah. Yeah, so Duraludon will be good against the P2 if it is P2. It's actually Jolteon.
In the
That's actually...
well, he needs to do some big damage to get one of these threats off the field.
Yeah, he really does. If Matt has double protect here, he will be... I think Dracovish has protect, doesn't it? I remember from the last games.
We're about to find out.
Oh, no, maybe it doesn't. Oh,
Matt's going for the damage.
Okay, yeah. So
Jolteon
maybe not having protect there was like a big thing, So Jolteon has got to take both of these Pokemon out now, which...
And he really, really hard countered by Duraludon.
Yeah. So there's the quick draw coming in. Oh, almost taking it out.
That was a slow draw, but it's not going to be enough. Latvian takes game 1 in the final.
Wow. So yeah, as you've seen, like Latvian thrives in the Trick Room. So I think Latvian is going to be probably going for the same thing afterwards.
He has to, which means you would fully expect to see P2 come out for Matthew Wright and try and nullify that Trick Room.
Yeah, I agree. I think Matt's strategy in the very first game was like just perfect. Like Porygon 2 completely controlled things, and I think it needs to come back.
But ladies and gentlemen, this is it. This could be match point.
Yep.
Latvian takes this next game.
If Latvian takes this, it's actually... Yeah.
That's not what we want to see, right? We want to see it go to a game 3, though.
Yeah, we do.
We
do want to see
the season going as long as possible.
Most definitely, yeah.
But most importantly, please send 2 hosts the link to the game. Thank you very much.
Yeah, it's just did it. Right, so yeah, I'm expecting probably Latvian to go with the same lead because it worked out so well for him, like really well. I don't think he should really change anything up.
Can he change anything up? Or
I mean,
this is it now.
Yeah. I think so there we go. There's the Porygon 2 and the Dracovish, and yeah, the exact same lead. And unfortunately, Matt doesn't get the special attack boost from Porygon 2, but I don't think that'll be an issue. So here's going to be like mind games, in my opinion.
The mind games, Aaron. I'm waiting for you to say it.
Yeah. So it's going to be, are you going to go for Trick Room or not? Because Matt has to make the decision whether to go. So that being Dynamite. Oh, okay. There's the protect on. Okay.
Vicious Rend.
Oh, Eerie Impulse.
Great call from Matt.
Yeah. Yeah, that was an amazing call. So he didn't actually fall for the Trick Room. Yeah. Really clever from Matt. He didn't fall for the Trick Room shenanigans. He did unfortunately go for this Leopard, but I think you have to in that case, just in case if he does go for the Trick Room. Copycat. So but yeah, Eerie Impulse.
What do we see this turn? There's the max.
Oh, there we go. There's the Trick Room. So, Leopard actually hangs on. And it's Rocky Helmet Leopard. Very
Things
interesting.
You would think you would never see. Specifically to counter that Dracovish.
Yeah, that is really interesting. So Trick Room is now up. So this is where Latvian, of course, wants to be. Oh, it's a Fake Tears and a Max Mindstorm.
Here comes a Trick Room from Matt.
Yeah, he's just reversing it back. And to be honest, I think that's actually a good turn for Matt because it's now put Latvian in an awkward position where he's not in Trick Room and he's got a Jolteon staring at him.
And he's about to die, Max.
And he put up his own Psychic Terrain, which stops Fake Tears from Leopard. So, like I said, I think Latvian, I don't know. It's a bit of a mistake, but
Trick Room
oh,
down.
Trick Room does come back up. Okay,
Down goes the Lipard.
actually, yeah, down goes Lipard, and
And down
yeah,
goes Slumber.
down. This is actually. This
It all
should
comes down to
be.
this.
I don't know. Matt's in a great position here, in my opinion. It's 3v2 now. It is Machamp, though. This is actually interesting. So Porygon 2 can get OHKO'd by Machamp, as we have seen. Yeah. What are you expecting here?
He has to go for the deep punch into the Porygon, right? He has to.
Yeah.
But at the same time...
There it is.
It doesn't kill this time.
Ooh.
Snarl comes out.
Oh, wow, okay. That is huge. Does Matt get the confusion, though?
It's going to live.
Oh, he doesn't. Oh, my word. He actually got it up. Porygon 2 hung in there. That is absolutely amazing.
You're cursing your luck right now, Aaron, right? That's tax for you.
Yeah.
You pray to the gods and sometimes they don't answer.
Oh, wow. He actually goes for the Duraludon. I was actually half expecting... Wow, okay.
High horsepower, good night. That's a double down. 1v2.
Wow, I actually thought he was going to go for Machamp instead.
We've just seen the game swing in one turn.
This is an absolutely huge swing.
I don't know what this took.
Oh, I don't know if Matt has just thrown that or not.
Does he have a steel move?
Oh, my word.
Dynamic punch.
Is this going to be it? Oh, my word.
We're going to a game 3, Aaron.
Oh, my God.
We're going to a game 3.
Oh, my Lord.
Shadow Ball.
It lives. Oh, my God.
And that's the game.
No. Latvian. Oh, my word.
Latvian 71. The Miami Heat. For your season 1 champions, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, my word. That was so close. It was unreal.
That final turn, epitomising the whole season. Congratulations, Latvian.
Congratulations to Latvian.
Matthew. What a game.
Honestly, well played to both players there. I think that turn where Machamp was on half HP and he still had a max option, I think actually going for the Machamp there would have maybe won him the game.
He doesn't want to hear you say that, let me tell you.
That was I made a bit of a mistake there doing that.
Okay.
But I really thought that because I didn't have a fairy or flying move on Togekiss, I really thought all I could do was Ancient Power, Shadow Ball, or Aerosphere, and Shadow Ball seemed like the best bet, and it just wasn't enough.
Yeah. It's such a close end. God.
That's it.
2 or 3 games of the final 4 coming down to swings and topsy-turvy. Unbelievable.
He played really I didn't expect the Lipad to come in and copycat the Trick Room again at the end there.
Neither did I.
Really fucked me up, but man, that was sensational.
That was such a clever play on his part. I was like, oh yeah, he actually copycat the last move.
Duxie had It's Coming Home ready. That was incredible stuff. I just want to finish this out by saying thank you to every single one of all of you for playing in this league, all 7 of you. It's been an absolute blast the last 15, 16 weeks. You've been a full credit to the league and to everyone, and I can't thank you all enough. And congrats again to Lat, season 1 champion. We've got a little thing to play here. I'll just play it on stream. There it is, guys. That is it for season number 1 of the British Pokemon League. Latvians, Miami Heat, coming out as season 1 champions. I pushed them all the way in the end there, but it wasn't enough. Great games to Latvian. And I can't wait to do it again for season 2. We're going to have a 2-week break from now. We'll have a little break just to sort things out. We've got to get a few things set up. We'll be having more teams next season. There's going to be 2 different leagues, Division 1 and Division 2, next season. Hoping to move up to at least 12 teams. And we're going to be playing on Series 9 rules with a completely different tier list. So you're going to see some completely different ones, completely different teams. It's going to be absolutely nutty. Before I go, I just want to take a quick little look at who our Season 1 MVP is going to be and who is going to have the most kills. If I just give me a second to get this over here. 2 minutes. Oops. Hang on a second, guys. We'll get you to it in just a second. Oops. All the fun. There we go. We get there in the end. There it is. So Hatterini is going to finish out as the active season kill leader. I've not updated it with the scores just yet, but that is... Hatterini, I think, is going to just about do it. Centre Scorch is going to be the MVP of Season 1. Finishing out there with the highest KD. And, those are the two main stats you need to know about. But as I said, that is going to do it. That is going to do it for me today. Phenomenal stuff. Thank you all again so much for watching. It has been an absolute blast. And we will see you all in 2 weeks for the first pre-season show of the British Pokemon League Season 2. I have been your host, Matt Starr. Thank you all very much. Goodbye.